Going live, and you are live. What is going on, everybody? RogersBase here with my live reaction to One Piece manga chapter 1138. We're getting started right on time today. I'm not starting early. I'm not starting late. I wanted to make sure I wait right until that 8 a.m. because I have heard from so many people, from literally every One Piece fan that I know, that this chapter is apparently peak, that this is apparently like one of the best chapters of all time, that I should remain unspoiled, that I shouldn't see anything about it. Thankfully, I haven't. As you guys know, it's been a very busy week between like the Pokemon TCG update and then all the stuff with like the Mario Kart video and all the different events I was going to. I've been busy. So I literally have not seen anything. And I've had my mutes up since like last Monday after how good the last chapter was with Shamrock. So I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. I'm good. I'm going in unspoiled. I'm going in excited. I can't wait to see what we're going to see. I was talking to Jimmy about it yesterday at the gym. I'm like, I've been hearing from everybody that this one's really, really good. So I have a feeling this stream is going to be a legendary one. So with that being said, let us get started. Also, I just want to say thank you to everyone for being respectful, because I feel like normally with big chapters, normally people do just like spam spoilers, or they'll do stuff and be annoying, and that didn't happen this time at all. Like I said, I uploaded a bunch of videos, but people were good, so thank you. Thank you all for being good. All right, here we go. Okay, I can tell right from the title, this is gonna be a good one. This is obviously gonna be a lore chapter. If it's called the Harley, and we know that's like the Bible of their world, we know this one's gonna be good. Okay, One Piece manga chapter 1138. We're gonna have a One Piece Bible reading on Sunday morning. Is that what we're doing this week? All right, front cover, Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, volume 24. It was Who's Who all along, okay? It was Who's Who all along. We got Who's Who with his courtesans, his oirans, some other beast characters in the background, like some lion dude and some leopard dude with Who's Who. I'm honestly surprised he's still chilling and seemingly having a good time in Wano Country, considering everything that happened during the last story arc. But okay, I guess so nothing has changed for Who's Who under the new leadership of Momonosuke. He's still chilling, being a racist in the little corners of Wano Country, away from everybody else. All right, whatever. It's what it is. So Yamato hasn't even been doing their job. That's what I'm seeing from all this. Unless Yamato's gonna come in and he's gonna, I think we're pretty much chill as it is. All right, with all this out of the way, because look, we've been on this for 24 volumes and we're just now getting a character. Let's get into the good stuff. All right, 1138 Harley, kicking things off with Loki coughing up blood. Okay, right where we left off last week. For as much as you look like him, you gotta be related to that red-haired pirate. Oh, good. Good. Give me lore. Give me lore. Give me Shamrock. Give me Shanks lore. Good. And you're getting a little ... as you see Gunko and Shamrock walking away. Hold your tongue. That's nothing that you need to know. And Loki's going, true, it ain't my business, but a great pirate and a celestial dragon stand on opposing sides of the world power. And then you get ... and he's like huffing, coughing up blood again. And Shamrock saying, the fact that you have the same face. Oh no, excuse me, that's Loki still. I see Shamrock just a little ... And Loki saying, the fact that you have the same face is bound to draw curiosity. And you can see the giant tree there as well. That pirate is my estranged younger twin brother. Okay, good. Clone theory's dead, good. That pirate is my estranged younger twin brother. He returned to the Holy Land once, but he seems to prefer the filth of the lower world. Okay, returned. I see. Then your bloodline has earned my ire twice over. How fascinating that two separated brothers should be each targets of my wrath. Loki, dude, you chained up to a tree. Gunko's been throwing stuff at you. He's been throwing stuff at you. I don't know how much longer you could take this. Obviously, they're not going to be killing off Loki anytime soon. I feel like Loki seems like one of the most interesting parts of Elbaf. So my assumption is that once Loki is freed, he's going full force against... He's probably going to go against him first. Might make a temporary alliance with Luffy or something, being like, look, let's take out Shamrock first. Luffy still got to meet this guy, I feel like. We got a lot of stuff we got to get to. Okay, anyway, hold on. Let us continue. How fascinating that two separated brothers should each be targets of my wrath. You'll rue this day once I get these chains off. Okay, all right, let's go. You know what'll happen, don't you? You get the little huff huff. I watched my friend's fate decided before my eyes. And you could see the polar bear and the ogres. Why is there a land shark just chilling? Oda's been playing too much Marvel Rivals. You got Jeff the land shark chilling down in the corner saying, I watched my friend's fate decided before my eyes. And now I bear the cost of it. You really dream of threatening me? Commander, don't let him. No. Shamrock. Indeed. It's not worth dirtying my own hands. So you do it, Cerberus. Bro, Cerberus. Okay. Cerberus Blackbeard theory gone? We're getting a lot of... Dude, I had a thumbnail. We'll talk about this a little bit later. I had a thumbnail that James cooked up years ago for a Blackbeard theory I was going to do on the Cerberus fruit. I could go back and I could find the image for you a little bit later on once we're showing James's thumbnail. He literally drew, years ago, an image of Whitebeard's face, Blackbeard's face, and then I think it was Emu's face or something on this Cerberus for a video I was going to do on a potential Cerberus fruit. Now we're getting it, and it's Shamrock's sword, and you got this thing bubbling up. Loki, this is, okay, let's just keep going. Let's also cool, because that still goes in line with like the yokai underworld servant theming, seemingly, of like the god knights and the holy knights and the Gorosei and everything. That's cool. Doesn't go against any of that. Also kind of interesting because his name is Shamrock, and it's more of like a westernized type character. It's not really like a Japanese yokai type thing. It's like something, this is cool. I like everything about this. Okay, Cerberus. So we got his Cerberus sword going, oh, to get all three of the heads, go in every direction, the teeth, the slobber. And Loki, of course, being Loki, is like, what the heck is this? After getting chained up and getting attacked constantly. Oh, that's creepy, dude. And the tongues, it's not even the tongue that's transforming. The sword's just coming out of the mouth of the Cerberus going down, and it goes, yep, right there. Loki, you better watch it, man. It's my sword. Wait, what? It's my sword, okay. My thing just went anti-full screen for a second. I was like, wait, what just happened? All right, let's click this. Cerberus, that's creepy. What's wrong with those things? And you can see Loki in the corner as the giant sword comes just hurling toward him. You got the flames coming off of it. You got the sword sticking out of the mouth. And you see the thing swooping around. It looks like the little dog collar thing is like twirling with little Bowser spikes on it. His eyes are glaring. Very creepy looking Rinnegan eyes. Loki's over there as well, just like, I don't know what the heck is going on. Extinguish your presence, Commander. We need to move. Okay, meanwhile, Gunko's creating like an arrow clickbait bird. Scramble. Oh, you get the little, you get all of them running on over towards Loki. Return. Wait, what? Oh, and you see the whip of the body. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, see, what I didn't see on the other panel, the heads are like rocketing off of the body. See the way, oh, that's interesting. So the way that it was drawn in the other panel, it looked like it was just flames and fur coming off of the back, but it's not. It's those little like spiral dog collar things are propellers shooting the heads forward, and he could just like shoot them off of the body of the Cerberus to do damage. So he's summoning the rest of it back. If you should survive, then come and kill me. I'll be ready for you. Okay? So Shamrock's just leaving them there. He's returning the rest of the body like a Pokeball. Loki's like, as he looks and the bird's flying off, if you should survive, come and kill me. I'll be ready for you. And he's like, wait a damn second. What is this? I also love the design of the Gunko bird. All right, next page. You have got to be joking, man. Loki's looking up. You see the, whee, the little Cerberus heads flying in the sky. Woof, woof. You don't mean this. Dude, even I can't handle getting run through by those things. Curse you, Celestial Dragon, and you got Loki about to tank the attack, chained up still against the tree. All three Cerberus heads coming in. You see the little glint of the sword, the grrr, and then damn you to hell as he just tanks the attack from the Cerberus. Dude, if this is the beginning of the chapter, and the chapter is called The Harley, I see why people are hyping this one up. This is good. This is good. The confirmation of a Cerberus devil fruit in the world. Potential death of Loki. Like I said, there's no way Loki's dead, though. Because Shamrock straight up said, should you survive this, come and kill me. So obviously that's going to come into play a little bit later. My man Loki's going to show up during One Piece Endgame saying, you should have gone for the head. He's going to go for him. Yo, what a cool shot there, though, of Loki in shadow, the blood spurting all over the place, the silhouette of everything, the Cerberus just injecting into him. Man, oh man. And also gives you a really good scale of the heads of the Cerberus dogs as well. When they're that big versus Loki, who again is like a prince of the giants. Fire stuff. All right, hold on. Give me a second. Let's see this. Hold on. Again, I'm going to tell you guys, this has been a problem recently. I'm going to give a shout out to my internet browser. Shout out to Opera internet browser. This is going to be the opposite of a sponsorship. I use Opera all the time. And literally every time that I use Opera, after about like 30 minutes, the entire browser just dies. It says memory support over, and then I literally have to reload everything. So give me a second. Let me reload everything. Okay. Here we are. We are back. We're good. Very annoying. Opera, get your stuff together. Maybe it's an issue on my end. Maybe I have to do reloads or something, but I don't want this stuff reloaded when I'm going through. Anyway, here we are. You got the bird flying. Pacifying them all at once is going to be too hard. We need to get the warrior's children first. So we got Shamrock saying that to Gunko. Call one more. Very well, which one? So we're going to get another Holy Night then. So it's literally not just going to be Gunko and Shamrock. We are getting all-out war then, dude, because then the Holy Knights, when they move, we're going to get the Revolutionaries moving. You got Loki wanting his revenge. This is going to be good, man. This is what I'm talking about, though. Like, we really are in the end game of One Piece. You can feel it. Knowing, like, the people that... Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, we got to keep reading. This is hype. This is very hype. All right. Let's continue. Again, we're on page 9. All right. Allrust Castle, Elbaf. Now look, I know what I saw. It was red hair. Liar. Shanks wouldn't beat up you guys without a good reason. Okay, so we're going to get him figuring out about Shamrock. It's true, but I'd recognize him anywhere. Red hair has been to Elbaf many times. He was just before the story arc. All the stuff with Kid. Yeah, I guess you would. I mean, but Shanks is really cool. This guy must have just looked like him. See, Luffy's like, I don't believe that. Not my mentor. There's no way my mentor would do that. Let's go. All right. We were shocked to see him. We thought, what's he doing in the castle? Red hair was just in Elbaf, right? So it's not out of the question that he would still be in the area. But if what you're saying is true, that wasn't Shanks. I mean, Shanks is a cheerful guy who isn't full of himself. And he never does anything messed up like that. Meanwhile, I like Nami. Nami is saying, you trust too much, Luffy. You trust him too much. Of course I do. Look, Nami. You wouldn't be mad if someone said stuff like that about Molly Mare, would you? She's like, bro, it's Belmare. You're going to say my mom's name. Get my mom's name at least right, stupid idiot. All right. So I guess they were two identical people then? Maybe they're brothers? Shanks' brother? I don't know. I guess that could be true. But I've never heard him talk about his family. Just that he was on a pirate ship ever since he was little. I thought Roger and Rayleigh and those guys were all his family. The Roger pirates? Aside from Buggy. Wait. Time out. Let me read this again. Luffy's saying this, and then we get the little tip of the hat of the guy with the traditional Wano straw hat. And you get this line, I've never heard him talk about his family, just that he was on a pirate ship ever since he was little. You get the tip of the hat. I thought Roger and Rayleigh and those guys were his family. The Roger pirates, and then he makes a funny little aside from Buggy. Obviously, Buggy's his family too. Because that's the whole theory I've been making about the end of the series that you guys can go watch that I did 3 months ago. All right, what longer than that? It was like a year ago at this point now. They're charting the course to the end of One Piece, and so far, things are looking pretty good. Anyways, the fact that we're getting an intercut of this dude with the hat who was sitting with Crocus, I feel like Maybe I'm saying this too early, considering there's more to this chapter. But I feel like those Scopper Gabon stocks are rising. Little by little, those Scopper Gabon stocks, the people who've been hammering and like shouting that theory from the rooftops for years might actually be right now. If we're getting his allusion to the Roger Pirates, and then we get the image of this guy. This is crazy. This is good. This is good stuff. All right, let us continue. Anyway, it seems like they've already figured out the brother thing. You said Shanks' brother. I guess that could be true. Maybe they're brothers. All right. And again, Roger and Rayleigh was his family, but they're found family. The whole theme of One Piece is found family. Get in your head, Luffy, all right? Let's go. Next chapter, next page. Here we go. This is page 12 and 13. Team Frankie. The Jewel Tree Atom Tour. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here, there, everywhere. It's all Atom. I guess this wood's not that rare after all. Duh. I mean, is it really that valuable across the sea? Maybe, dude. You got her holding up Frankie, let a little baby doll. He's just standing like an action figure. Maybe I should go into business and start selling it. You're the one who should be stopping it, Ripley. Saul already scolded me once. This is a holy tree. Don't you go cutting pieces off of it loose now. And he's going and doing an impression of Saul. She's laughing, going, good impression there, Frankie. Anyway, if you have to cut the wood and haul it off without any giants noticing, I guess that would explain the price. And you see him thudding down on the ground again, walking on over. But what is that? A mural? The children's drawings from the ancient past, carved into the fossilized tree bark. It's a cultural relic due to its historical value. And he's going, really? Kids' scribbles? They're estimated to have been drawn... Okay, it begins. It begins. Yo, blessed be Goda for not having me spoiled this week, bro. This is good stuff. They're estimated to have been drawn somewhere between 800 and 900 years ago, which, if correct, puts them right within the period of the Void Century. Meanwhile, Frankie's like, Nande? What? Eyeballs popping out. This man is me, falling to the ground. Okay, we gotta show this to Robin. I'll tell her about it later, ... But I gotta say, for a drawing from Elbaf, these don't at all look like giants to me. That's right. In the history we're familiar with, there were sometimes war between the races, but never cultural exchange, okay? So you've got the crowns, you've got the horns, you've got the ears. So obviously one of those is the minx, one of those with the crown, and then you also see like the, okay, I'm assuming that's like the ancient giants with the horns. Let's keep going. Okay. Maybe that simply means that this was nothing more than a child's dream. Okay. Maybe this means it's nothing more than a child. I don't think so. I feel like the kids during the Void Century just knew what was up, but okay. Okay, we're not, she said you're not going to see this Void Century lore. Never mind. That's still good, though. That's good. Okay, hold on. Walrus School. Let us continue. The Walrus School. We're hanging out with Ripley's kid. They're going, yeah, and eek. Now listen up, children. We're in the middle of a lesson. And you got the rest of them laughing. Yeah! You got the assistant to Saul over there as well. Okay. Interesting that they're doing that little intercut with the kids after the whole thing about the kids' drawings. And them learning about this as we're learning about this, as I'm assuming Robin is too. Because now we're in the Owl Library. And she goes, okay, this is the Harley. It sure is. All right, so are we gonna, I know what they're gonna do. He's gonna pair the different versions of the Bibles and like show the differences. Okay, this is the Harley, sure is. It's huge and old, and dusty, and the little Chopper's trying to climb his way up there, blowing off the dust. And you can see Biblio up there too. All the various myths and legends of Elbaf were created based on this original text, since there are so many interpretations of it. And you can see them coughing and barking up. Okay, it means the sun god all the warriors of Elbaf believe in actually has a different personality, depending on who tells the story. This is backing up that theory our community has been saying for weeks about the two sun god fruits based on the different beliefs in Nika. It's coming up, so it is possible that we've got a Loki with the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika based on the evil warmongering personality, and the Hito Hito no Mi mythical model Nika that Luffy has based on the liberation, Joy of Liberation personality, the happy freedom fighter one. All right, may I read this? And you got the other giant still partying it up with Jarl with his sword stuck in his head. All right. And Saul's going, of course. There, she. The story split up into 3 chapters. They say the 3rd chapter describes the world that we live in today. It's about something, dude. Okay, buckle up. It's about something that's going to happen in the future. In fact, the legends of Nika are seeded all throughout this world. The one common feature is that he always shows up laughing to this rhythm. Doom, doom, doom. Da-dun, da-dun. Here we go. Doom, doom, doom. Da-dun, da-dun. Here we go. Yo, dude, I love that you got so... Oh, this is great. Shall I read it? Oh, let's read it, Robin. Let's go. And the rest of them are laughing. All right. Oh, boy. Okay. The first, we're actually getting it. This is good. Shall I read it now, Robin? The first world, within the earth, there was fire. Man, oh my, okay, wait a minute. What is up with the font on here? What? They're not using like Comic Sans, they're using like old scripture font? Oh man, there's a lot going on here. What in the world? You got the Arc Maxim? Oh man, oh dude. Oh man. Wait. I feel like I should read the text first, but I'm looking. Dude, there's the, bro. There's the Noah. You got the Noah, you got the animals, you got the minks, you got the mother flame, you got the sea creatures. Okay, you got Nika over there, the different races all fighting. Obviously the devil in the corner, that's Emu, bro. Of course, because he said the 3rd one is our day, bro. That's Emu, this is our future. This is it, this is the giants fighting alongside Poseidon, fighting alongside Uranus. This is the final war, bro. We're looking at the final war. The final bit of this is final war. This is it. This is the world sinking before. You get the, bro, this is it. Hold on. Wait. It's all coming true. Okay, you can even see the ships. You see the ships with the fish coming out of the ground. You even see the little Totadas on the boat, bro. You see the Totata, you see the samurai, bro. Oh my God, dude. What? You see this, the last third, I'm like not even focused on the past stuff right now. I haven't even read the text yet, and I'm looking at the 3rd bit of this, based on what they just said, of the 3rd bit being the future. That right there that we're looking at. With this man, that's, again, you see the horns, you see the wings. That's obviously the evil of the world. You see over here, you see my guy Luffy in his Nika form with the sword and the shield going up against Emu. Or this could be two things. Wait, this could be two things though. Wait a minute. This could be two things. Because there's a lot of interpretation because he's holding the sun. The sun could be the mother flame. The sun could be Luffy himself. The sun could be Loki. Right? Because if we've got 2 sun gods, Emu might capture Luffy or Loki, and the rest of the world is going up against Emu to fight him. There's clearly the Grand Fleet right there, bro. That's clearly, without a question of a shadow of a doubt, the Samurai of Wano Country right there on the bottom. Right there. You got the sun pirates there. You got the fish underneath the ground. You got all the different ships. You even see the little Totata. They predicted the Totatas. They predicted Leo. They predicted the Grand Fleet. They're there. You got the whale up in the sky. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy. And then wait a minute. There's like a rocket pack on the back of the horned one. So that is not what I thought it was with an ancient giant. That is Emmet. That's like an Emmet type robot. That's one of the Emmet robots. The other horned dude, now that I'm thinking about this, bro, this is probably not, I'm sorry I'm doing this in real time. You guys are probably like, read the freaking chapter already. I'm sorry, there's a lot of stuff. My man Luffy is the Nico with the sword. I think the giant standing alongside Luffy with the horns and with the giant spear is actually probably Loki. And that they're going against Emu for the Mother Flame. That he's holding on to that. You've also got the God Knights in the other ship that also has the Norse flag going in against it. Again, you got the giants, you got the sea people, you got the minks. They're all there. Bro, they're there, bro. Also, what the hell is this flying whale? Is that Laboon? Are we gonna give a devil fruit to Laboon? What's going on here, man? This is, okay. I haven't even gotten into the past one. Let's just read. I'm gonna read. And then we're gonna analyze this whole thing. Okay. I'm gonna say this outright right now. This is one of the best chapters I've ever read. This is, without even finishing the chapter, I can safely shout out, by the way, to like the almost 3,000 people watching it here live on a Sunday morning at like 8:27 a.m. And most of you probably already read it too. Shout out to all of you who are in here right now. We got like Nintendo Direct level hype in here this morning. This is insane. All right, but to be understandable, this fire chapter absolutely deserves it. There is some good stuff here, man. I have to read before I keep going, because I keep like getting sucked into the mural. I have to just let me read the chapter, and then we're gonna get into this. All right, the first world. Within the earth there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. The earth god, holy shit, bro. This whole thing is gonna be real? With like the elemental gods? Oh. Okay, hold on. Let's keep going. Hold on. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire, hold on. If I'm doing this, I need this. It's Sunday morning, all right? I got the Harley at the ready. I'm reading this like I'm reading straight out of the text. All right, here we go. Within the earth, there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire, shrouded the world in death and darkness, and they will never meet. The second world. Within the void, there was breath. The forest god tamed the forest god. Time out. Time out, bro. What? Okay, hold on. Let's keep going. The second world. Within the void, there was breath. The forest god tamed demons, and the sun spread the fires of war. And you got the other god over there with the thing screeching out the flames. Dude, it's crazy. Oh my God. Oh! I just read the last bit. Oh, we just got confirmation. We just got confirmation, bro. This is it. This is the chapter. We got confirmation. My hands are actually shaking, dude. Those of the half moon dreamed, bro, the will of D. The D, the pictogram, the final moon, the half moon, the D. Bro, it's this. It's this. It's this. It's confirmed, bro. Will of D. The people of the half moon. It means a moon. It's a moon. Holy crap, man. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I got to keep going. Preacher D. RogersBase has got to keep going. Hold on. Those of the half moon, this is crazy. Those of the half moon dreamed. Those of the moon dreamed. Man killed the sun and became God. And the sea god stormed, which is Poseidon, obviously. And they will never meet again. Okay. Well, hold on a minute, though. Wait a minute. Sea god might not actually be Poseidon. And this story could be interpreted differently. Sea god in this situation could be Emu. If Emu's flooding the world. Because assuming the first world is like pre-One Piece, the second world is the Void Century. The third world is where we are right now. And going into present day. Those are the half moon dreamed, and the will of thee, the dreams of the... Those are the moon dreamed. Man killed the sun and became God. And the sea god stormed, and they will never meet. Okay. So then maybe there were the two different sun gods, and then the... Okay. Or man killed the sun and became God could also be like Anika and hiding the mother flame thing away. It could be both. It could be Joy Boy hiding away the stuff with the mother flame from the world government, becoming God, right? Becoming Nika. And then the sea god, Emu, floods the world. And they never meet. Okay. And everything's wiped. Okay. How are we not even through the text of this chapter, bro? This is insane. All right, let me continue. I got to keep going. I got to keep preaching. The third world, bro. Within the chaos, there was emptiness. The inconvenient remnants recall the promised day, the day the dawn shall rise again, and hear the voice of the half moon, the voice of all things. This is it. The sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end, bro. And this is gonna be all, dude. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy. The sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. The sun returns and brings a new morning, the new dawn. And they will surely meet. One Piece, manga chapter 1138 end. I see you guys saying with your Harleys, amen. There we go, bro. I'm gonna be 110 billion% honest right now. There was a slight chance in my head when I woke up this morning, hearing the hype about this chapter, that I could be disappointed and that things might have been overblown and that people might have been hyping this up too much. This exceeded every one of my expectations. This is the kind of chapter that I read One Piece for. This right here. All of this lore, all of these theories coming to fruition. The fact that in the same chapter, we got confirmation of the D in the will of D being the half moon that we have been talking about as a community dating back to before I even had a YouTube channel, like 15, 18 years ago. People were saying this. And now we are here, we are at the chapter in which it is actually confirmed. Those of the half moon dreamed. That right there is just insane. But the fact that we get that confirmed in the same chapter that we also get the confirmation of the existence of the Cerberus devil fruit, which has been theorized. You guys, some of you, I'm gonna give you a history lesson, all right? Sunday Church of One Piece with RogersBase. Listen, all right? I know King's got his church of Katakuri or whatever, just look. Let me just tell you this, all right? Some of you are too young to remember. But old heads like Uncle Roger over here remember the days of old theory YouTube. And remember the days, and I'm going to throw a name out there, and many of you are going to remember this name. Remember the days of Alpha Too Late 17. This man was like the king of all theorists back in like 2012, 2003. No, it would have been 2012, 2013, 2014. This dude literally just wrote up theories, put Death Note music in the background, and just threw like a bunch of random images on the screen and would not even speak. It would just be text on the screen, man. It would just be text on the screen. And one of those old theories, way back when, was about the possibilities of a Cerberus devil fruit and how Blackbeard could have that Cerberus devil fruit. And that's his reasoning for eating the three. And for Oda in this chapter to be like, not only is it not going to be Blackbeard who has the Cerberus fruit, we're just going to give the Cerberus fruit to, which is crazy that I'm saying these words out loud, to Shanks's younger brother within the world government's sword. It's not even going to be to Shanks's younger brother. It's going to be given to his sword, bro. Like, what? What? And that, again, that confirmation is in the same chapter of the confirmation of the will of D, of this incredible mural, which this is exciting me for multiple reasons. We haven't even gotten into like analyzing the mural in the past, because again, you guys have to remember, I'm reading this for the first time right now. So there's obviously going to be things that I'm missing. I'm sure people are bringing up. I'm seeing lots of super chats. I'm seeing lots of donations. We will get to all of them. Don't you worry about a thing. This is going to be a theory heavy stream today. If you guys want theories, if you guys want to understand this mural, you're in the right place. Shout out again to everybody who's in here. This is absolutely insane. We are getting so much love for this chapter today. Thank you very, very much. But I just want to say that I think as somebody who has been doing this for a decade, and talking about One Piece theories and analyzing the story and seeing where things are going and hearing people say, no, it's not going to go this way, but actually seeing it and seeing like, yes, it is. Here is the final war we have been talking about. Here is Emu. Here's all the races coming together. Here's Luffy leading them. There's also so much other stuff. Even I can't even speak. I feel like I am going to be in the minority here. And the chat, you can fill me in on what the overall consensus is right now. To me, I am less interested in analyzing the past of this mural because I feel like we're going to get that. Obviously, the past of the mural, right? The history of the world where once there was fire, there was the earth. I mean, the earth god, sea god thing is crazy, right? But I feel like the past of the mural is clearly going to be told to us truthfully in its full capacity at some point, probably within this arc now. Again, we're in the final saga. This is like clearly, this is the end of all things. This is where we are. The thing I am almost more interested in talking about is where things are going, right? Because it clearly says right here, where is it? The story, Saul says this on page 14. Clearly, plain as day, clear as crystal, no other way to interpret this. There's no other way. He clearly says the story is split up into 3 chapters, and the 3rd chapter describes the world we live in today. The 3rd chapter being the 3rd world, right here. It is about something that is going to happen in the future. The legends of Nika seeded all throughout the world. That is full, plain as day, clear as crystal. That is it right there. That is the 3rd world. That is the future. What we are looking at is the future. This drawing, people are saying it's text chapters, not the drawing. No. No, incorrect. I feel like I need to clarify this for people. I think people are misunderstanding this. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it. I don't think I am, though, because the Atom Tree is obviously the Void Century, represented in this mural, where all this stuff happened and the world was shut down and you can't actually see what's happening back in the day. The kids hearing the heart, like to us as we're reading it, right? The third world is the future. But these Void Century drawings that these kids were making were when they were living in the 2nd world. These kids were living in the 2nd world and going through this and drawing the prophecy of the book. Again, I could be completely wrong. I don't think I am. I think it is said very clearly with the way that the text is spread across and seeing that smack dab in the middle with the 2nd world and the wiping of history and the world sinking and the Noah and everything, and you can see the Arc Maxim flying up there and the lightning bolts, which is also insane that I'm just now seeing the lightning bolts. That is crazy, bro. Which again, Eneru's coming back. Okay. This 2nd world drawing is definitely, the kids drew this during the Void Century as they were living throughout the Second World, is how I feel very strongly. Again, it's open interpretation potentially, but I feel like the ending bit is very clearly where we are now. I mean, again, the Wano Samurai, the Tontada, the Sea Princess, there's Shirahoshi right there. You've got Loki, you've got the Minx. You've even got the Lunarian. That could be, you have the black with the wings, the black skin, and then the black wings, and then the little like fire halo. Dude, that's the Lunarians. That's King right there. That's like, or someone related. It could be something else. It might not be King, but it's there. You see him there in front of the whale. And then you also see, what is this thing? This creature with the giant sword, with the tail and with this. Like, what is that, bro? The other thing, I have to go back. There's too much here. I have to go back. The other thing about this, right? Because then you got the robot and everything else, is that Ripley says on page 12 and 13, these are children's drawings from the ancient past carved into the fossilized tree bark. It's a cultural relic due to its historical value, kid scribbles. They're estimated to have been drawn somewhere between 800 and 900 years ago, which puts them in the period of the Void Century. Now, first off, these kids were incredibly artistically endowed for having drawn this mural if these were children. But I do think it's interesting to potentially speculate that this was not kids that drew this. That it was like a previous historian of Elbath who put all these carvings in the tree. But at the very least, the time period of this being drawn during the Void Century, and again, this with Frankie straight up saying, for a drawing for Elbath, these don't look like giants to me, speculating it might not have been the kids. In the history we're familiar with, there was sometimes war between the races, but never cultural exchange. Which again, to clarify there, Ripley says there was never cultural exchange, right? We didn't see the samurai. We didn't see the fishermen. We didn't see the minx. This was not, we didn't intermingle. Everyone kept to their own, just like how Wano had closed borders. We kept to our own. So all of this is fascinating, looking back at the mural again, about how this again could potentially be the future of our world that we're looking at. Because I think pretty clearly the guy we're seeing on the far left is Emu. That the sun he's holding, I'm assuming, is the mother flame, which could potentially power the ancient weapons and end the world, right? You've got the rest of the world coming against Emu from the samurai, which also connects the Yamato cover story that we're going through right now with this. With, again, the Lunarian remnants, with the robots, the ancient robots, or making things even crazier, that robot might not be an ancient robot, might be like a replication. There could be something else going on there. That's a whole different conversation. Then you've obviously got the Holy Knights on the bottom. Also, interesting that you've got the 5 knights, but then the one at the bottom of the ship is small, and then the one holding on to the front of the ship, like what is, and they're all wearing the helmets and stuff, so you know that's what that is. Because I'm wondering if those 5 are meant to represent the Gorosei and then maybe Shamrock. I feel like, again, this could go in a bunch of different directions. And there's other stuff I want to talk about in this chapter. I feel like, real quick, before we dive into like discussing the mural stuff, and shout out again to all the members that are coming through. I'm seeing all the memberships. I'm going to make sure to shout out everybody. Thank you very, very much. But there's just a lot going on here. But I appreciate all of you. Thank you. This stuff right here with Cerberus and with Sheik saying, call one more, very well, which one, implies that at least one more Holy Knight is coming to Elbath. Shamrock's line to Loki, saying, if you escape, come kill me, says to me that is like perfect foreshadowing for when he is eventually freed and we get that showdown. And he goes after Shamrock. And again, I think that is clear as day Loki with the giant spear right there in the front standing next to Luffy on this mural. That's Loki. That's that Loki right there. And I know people probably like, oh, Loki for Straw Hat. No. I don't mean like Loki is a Straw Hat. I think as an ally to the Straw Hat Pirates, that is meant to be Loki. I think Luffy is representing the Straw Hats in the mural. I think the other ones are meant to be representative of all the other nations. I'm also wondering, with the other flag of the ship and the sun, if maybe that's meant to represent Vivi and Alabasta and the truth of the world. The whale is also super interesting to me. Whether that, because that could be interpreted as the whale flying, or just like there wasn't room on the mural to draw anything else, or it's Laboon and they're riding in Laboon. Like, there's too much other good stuff, dude. There's too much in this one. All right. Okay, but what I was going to say, because I'm going off topic and I'm losing my mind a little bit, right, is that Loki could be freed. We're for sure getting another Holy Night. We got the confirmation of the Cerberus Devil Fruit. Luffy's already kind of figured out that, and the main crew, right? We got like Nami and Zoro and the other giants and Roto, basically figuring out this was not Shanks, and coming to the understanding this was indeed Shanks' brother. That could be true. It was Shanks' brother. And Luffy having the revelation of, I didn't hear him talk about his family, but I heard him talk about the Roger Pirates all day. That connection to that guy potentially being Scopper Gaban, who's been with Crocus and who we've been speculating about this entire arc. I feel like that's going to happen within the next couple chapters. We're probably going to see him and find out who that is. And then we get the stuff about the mural. Like, realistically, there's three major scenes in this chapter. There's the fight against Loki, there's the revelation about Shanks' brother, and then we get this three-tiered history of the world reading of the stuff with the Harley and with Saul and Robin and Ripley and Frankie and Chopper and everyone fighting this out at the same time. So because we've kind of gone over all of that, and I feel like I've speculated a lot during the reaction portion, the other thing that I want to do during this review is sort of break down, even though, like I said earlier, I think I was less interested in this stuff than I was with the future stuff, I do want to also break down what's going in the past. I feel like there's going to be a lot of memberships, a lot of membership messages, a lot of super chats that are going to explain some of this stuff. But you have to understand, I'm a content creator. Allow me to just, for this brief moment in time, with all these people watching, speculate what this first part means and sort of break this down in my own review format before we get into other people's theories. Because, excuse me, I got to get some water. I'm going nuts. The opening of this. The first world. Within the earth, there was fire. The mother flame. Okay, within the earth, the power, the thing that powered the world, there was fire, the core of the mother flame, right? Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. My assumption, the people of the world of One Piece went, wait a minute, there's this unlimited power source. We could take advantage of that. Let's carve into the world and let's take this unlimited power source. Okay. The enslaved prayed, right? Which you're seeing the little thing on the bottom, and you see all the gears and you see the ancient kingdom, and you can see the smoke coming out of the ancient kingdom and all the gears and the people working. And as the people are praying, you can see the little halos on the people on the bottom of the mural. That's obviously the people praying and them creating devil fruits. The devil fruits being cultivated from the mother flame. Oh my gosh, I just knocked over my switch and I just hit this. Okay. That's clearly what that is. In my opinion, it's the people got greedy, wanted to power their inventions. The people of the ancient kingdom got greedy, wanted to power their inventions, used the mother flame to cultivate all of this and power up their civilization. And the enslaved prayed and the sun god appeared. Right. So that's obviously the whole thing about the dreams of the people coming true with the devil fruits, all that, sun god. The earth god raged with its serpent of hellfire, shrouded the world in death and darkness, and they will never meet. Shrouding the world in death and darkness, and they will never meet. And knowing this whole thing with Luffy and Luffy's antithesis being Blackbeard and the way that they connect, in my brain, whoever this earth god is, this serpent of hellfire shrouded in death and darkness, like that's Blackbeard. That's the Blackbeard equivalent back in the day. That's who that is. That's who that is. That's got to be who that is. The world in death and darkness. If we're leading up to the end of everything in One Piece, and we all kind of assume and kind of know that Blackbeard is the last final villain of the series, he kind of has to be post-Final War on the road to Laugh Tale, after that whole theory that I brought up all those years ago in that charting the course to the end of One Piece, which again is filling out quite nicely looking at this. In that theory, I had mentioned that I feel like moving into Laugh Tale, there's going to be 4 major players. Just as was prophesized by that panel, that all the other major players of the final war and the 4 Yonko on the top. That going into the end of everything, the Yonko, discovering the One Piece, are going to be top dogs. If that is to be believed, and we know there's some weird thing going on with Blackbeard's body, and that he could have multiple devil fruits, and that the world is shrouded in death and darkness, look, Blackbeard has the world's strongest paramecia. He's got the earthquake fruit. He's got the world's strongest, Logia, being the darkness fruit. If we've got Luffy, who has the sun god fruit, and is clearly the prophesized sun god, the good sun god, what would be the opposite of that? His final opponent, presumably, should have something to do with darkness and death, right? Now that could be one of 2 things. That could be Emu with a literal devil fruit, as a lot of people have speculated, and clearly looking at that image on the far left with the horns and the flames. And I mean, that is probably Emu, right? That's probably Emu. But if it's not, or if it is Emu, and Emu is just the carrier of the old devil fruit, right, of this earth god, that potentially could be stolen by Blackbeard, who then has who could then have the strongest zone, being like some type of mythical fruit related to death and darkness, either being the devil, either being the Grim Reaper, either being the earth god, whatever. And those 2 will never meet, right? Those 2 have to meet if the world ends. They have to meet. They'll never meet in the prophecy of the first world. They never meet. But one day they will. And the sun will rise and a new morning will be brought. So looking at all of this, again, my assumption with the story as we know it right now, and even like there's something going on in my brain where I feel like the right is going to be Blackbeard / Rocks / the people who were their parallels within their generations, leading back to the Earth God, right? On this past mural, you also see the moon. You very clearly see right here, within the description of the second world, within the void there was breath. The forest god tamed demons, and the sun spread the fires of war. Now, the sun, again, could mean 2 different things in this context, in my opinion. The sun spreading the fire of war could actually be the other Nika. Could be the war-torn, hot-blooded, warmonger Nika, who's spreading the fires of war, utilizing the mother flame, the forbidden sun, right? That presumably maybe someone on the other side was raging the fires of the world, and you've got all that stuff. Because the sun spreading the fires of war, I do not believe is Joy Boy. Because in the second bit of this, those of the half moon dreamed, those of the moon dreamed. Okay, we know about the civilization on the moon already in Enru, and I was going to tell you all this. Man killed the sun and became God. Okay, time out. Killed the sun and became God. My assumption with this, from my initial reaction interpretation, is that Joy Boy, right, became Nika. That potentially the sun god of the first world was the actual sun god. That Joy Boy, during the Void Century, was the one who became God, right? The first owner of the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika, Joy Boy. That right there, that's him. Became God, and then the sea god stormed. That was him, spread joy, spread liberation, and Emu, or whoever was at the top of the world government going, no. We gotta rage, we gotta wipe this whole world out. That's what we gotta do, wipe it out. They will never meet. The sea god and the sun god. They will never meet. We're wiping this world out. We're wiping the world clean. It is the void century. You clearly see in here the character with the crown, shrouded in black, presumably Emu, during the time of the void century. As you see the factory from the old world, these were the prayers. You could see the thing coming out from the mother flame of the world, right? You see the little people, the 4 people who are reaching out, and the little sun above them, reaching out, praying, and getting their dreams coming true with these devil fruits. But with the mother flame civilization, you've got the conveyor belt of people giving their mother flame to the world government, saying, here, power this stuff up, making them stronger, leaving Emu at the top of everything, storming, right, flooding the world. The sea god, Emu, flooding the world. You see the angels coming from the ground, the people, and the ark, right? So the rest of the world, the Lunarians, the Skypiea, everyone, gone. Wiped out, get out of here. The ancient civilization, gone. But from the opposite side of the little elevator coming up, where you see the little halos, and you see the people praying, and you get the real devil fruits, you get the factory of the people, again, not just out of the conveyor belt of the civilization, but the people of the old world who touched the forbidden fire, who still had access to what I'm presuming is the mother flame at the core of the earth, powering up Emu and his civilization. Meanwhile, the other elemental gods are like, this is screwed up. We need to wipe this world clean as well. And you've got this forest god, because this right here, this is interesting. This forest god taming demons could mean a bunch of different things. Because we have, I think, the winged monster you're seeing up here on the top of the tree. I think you're meant to believe that that winged monster is also Emu in the future. I do not think so. I think the Emu of the past is the one above where Noah's Ark is, on the boat on the water, right? And then you also clear as day, see Eneru, not Eneru, excuse me, the Ark Maxim, right, that Eneru currently is in possession of. You see the Ark Maxim up there with the lightning bolts raining down from the sky onto Emu. So clearly the people of this world tried, right? Those of the half moon dreamed. The people of the Will of D from the old civilization were like, this is happening to us. We just got to pray to leave it to the next generation, right? Leave it to the next generation, leave the One Piece, right? And leave the truth of the world and all this stuff. We're praying, we're hoping, we're dreaming that one day the dawn will rise again. People of the moon, the same way, dreamed. They're like, we got to get out of here. The Maxim's not working. We got to leave. Let's populate the Sky Islands. Let's get out of here. Let's just dream and let's hope one day this all gets fixed. The other people of the moon, the Sulongs, obviously, look at the moon. They turn into all the minks. One day, the dawn will rise again. Inuarashi, Nekomamushi, all that stuff. Great. The minks, the ancient kingdom, the world at large, the people of the half moon, the Will of D, everybody, they all dreamed. Man then killed the sun and became God, Joy Boy. And the sea gods stormed, and they will never meet. Okay. And obviously, Joy Boy, this could also be interpreted different too, this forest god thing. The forest god taming demons and the sun spread fires of war. I feel like that one line leads to a lot of potential interpretation. With the forest god taming demons and the sun spread and the fire of war. Again, that could be the other warmonger version of Nika. That could literally mean the mother flame, as we're seeing in the mural, providing energy to the world government, right, to create their weapons. Or it could also mean, because there are different interpretations of this Harley, I'm almost wondering if next chapter we're going to get like the other interpretation. That could also mean Joy Boy. And that Joy Boy spread the fires of war by giving the devil fruits to the people and allowing their dreams to come true and liberating the people to rise up against Emu and to rise up against the ancient kingdom. I mean, for the ancient kingdom, to rise up against the world government and to rise up against Emu, who obviously failed and flooded the world, which you can clearly see there. Okay. And that finally moves us into the third world. And again, I think it's really interesting that the Adam tree acts as the split for the Void Century to where we are now. Because again, these drawings are carved inside of the Adam tree, right there. Frankie's looking at him. Who knows? There could be something that Frankie is standing in front of that we're not seeing right now, that's inside of the tree, that's presumably telling us something else about the world, some other truth that we're not seeing. Oda could still be shielding something about the lore of Elbaf in that tree. But then again, you see the prophesized final war. With all the races together, which again, this has to be the future, in my opinion, because Ripley says this could have been nothing more than a child's dream. Saul says it was split up into three, and the third part is the world we live in today, right? And her clarifying, we never had cultural exchange. So this idea of all these races coming together, this wasn't a thing. And the people of Elbaf know what happened. They see this mural. They know what happened. They know this has never happened before. That the people have never all come together. That Wano country on the boat, and the fish people, and the fishmen, and the Tontada, and Poseidon, and everybody. I mean, you literally got Shirahoshi, Loki, Emmett, the samurai of Wano. They're all in the mural. Versus the Holy Knights, the Gorosei, and Imu, holding the flame, the mother flame. Like I don't see another world, another interpretation in which that cannot be our future. I feel like that's got to be it. I feel like that's got to be our future. And the thing I find interesting is this line in this third world. So let's read this with the assumption that this is our future, that this is final war we're looking at. Okay. The third world. Within the chaos, there was emptiness. The inconvenient remnants recall the promised day. The inconvenient remnants, the people left over from the Will of D. Trafalgar D. Waterlaw, Monkey D. Luffy, Jaguar D. Saul, Garp, all of them. Monkey D. Dragon, all of them. Which also, as we're going through this, I'm starting to think Dragon has one of the god fruits. I'm starting to think, as we've got potentially 2 sun god fruits, and Emu's potentially got an earth god fruit or a sea god fruit, I feel like the other one could be Dragon. I feel like Dragon's one of them. I don't know who the fourth one would be. That's a whole different discussion. But I do think Dragon could be one of them. But anyway, the inconvenient remnants recall the promised day and hear the voice of the half moon. Okay. The sun god dances and laughs, Luffy, guiding the world to its end. This is why this is so important. This is why I brought this up in that theory thing a while ago. This is why I'm talking about it right now, okay? The sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. The prophecy of Fishman Island being destroyed by the man in the straw hat, and them assuming, oh no, he's going to do something and take out the... No. He's not purposely taking out Fishman Island, right? Whether Noah crashes on Fishman Island, whether the remnants of the ancient war, whether the remnants of the final war fall onto Fishman Island from Marijoa when the Red Line's destroyed, who knows? But what I do know is that prophecy and this prophecy are probably coming true. And that Shirley was right, essentially, when she said Straw Hat is going to end the world. I think he is, but I think it's going to be a good thing. I think Straw Hat's going to liberate the world by allowing, obviously, Emu, we don't want the world to be flooded. We don't want everything to be destroyed. However, with everything being destroyed, we get a little bit of a clean slate. And we now know the people of Elbaf who live in the tree with the sky, and you've got the machine that Vegapunk was working on that can create the clouds, and the other remnants of Vegapunk, other than Lilith, that are chilling up in the clouds above Egghead right now, who are like, it's going to take a couple hundred years, but we can create all these clouds that the people could then live on and be liberated above the sea and create a new civilization and match the old civilization in the wings. It's all coming together. Guiding the world to its end, meaning all the races are coming together, all the people have been liberated, and the world meets its end, but it's not a bad thing. The current world, the world of the world government, the reign of the world that was powered by the mother flame that was forbidden way back in the day, meets its end. That's good. That's a good thing. He's dancing and laughing, and the world meets its end. The sun then returns and brings upon a new morning, and they will surely meet. They will surely meet. The first two, second world, the first world, they will never meet. The second world, they will never meet. The people of the world, the earth god, the sun god, all the ancient kingdom remnants, the will of D, all the different races. All this time they have been separated by Emu, by the world government, by the shackles of the world that was put together by touching that mother flame from the core of the earth in the first place. The world will end, And now they will all meet in joyous liberation. Now, this is why this is important and why I've been shouting this from the rooftops, bro. From way back in the day, from that theory stream I did about charting the course of One Piece, the end of One Piece. Okay. They will surely meet, right? All the people are going to meet. Where are they going to meet, people? What is the One Piece? Where are they going to meet? Laugh Tale. What is going to happen after everything is said and done and we've discovered the One Piece? What happens at the end of every single One Piece arc ever? What always happens? There's a giant party. There's a giant party, bro. They're all going to meet. The people will be liberated. And what do you pop at a party? A bottle of sake that you share with the world. Luffy popping the bottle of sake. True brothers. Ace, Luffy, Sabo. Popping the bottle of sake. Grand Fleet. They pop that bottle of sake, which is the One Piece. They have one giant party. The dreams of both Roger and Luffy come true. The dreams that can be interpreted multiple different ways, but the dream of people wanting to be free. Luffy potentially having a childish dream of everyone should just be a pirate, creating a great world of piracy, Goldie Roger. Luffy saying from the beginning of the series that pirates are the ones who are the most free. Bruh, the One Piece. They pop the bottle of sake, they have the giant party. You get your epilogue, you see the rest of the world. It's paired with the lyrics of Bink Sake, which again, may I remind you, if I pull this up on stream right now, Bink Sake lyrics, not the localized lyrics, but the translation of the original song. Here we go. Going to deliver Bink Sake. Following the sea breeze, riding on the waves, far across the salty depths, the merry evening sun, the moon, the people of the moon dreaming. The birds sing as they draw circles in the sky. Farewell to my harbor, right? Farewell to the old world because it's wiped out now. It's gone. It's flooded. It's done. This is them writing this in the Void Century. Keep this in mind. Farewell to the harbor, to my old hometown. When they sing this at the end of the third world and the world is over, it's going to be Luffy and all the people of the world, all the races coming together saying, farewell, old world. It's done. Imu's reign is done. The people are liberated. We're free. To my old hometown, let's all sing out with the dawn as the ship sets sail. Waves of gold and silver dissolve to salty spray. So the ancient kingdom, right? The kingdom of gold, all this, Shandor, everything, gone away, right? As we set the sails to the end of the sea, because that's all they can do, because the world has now been flooded. Going to deliver Bink Sake. We are all pirates sailing through the seas, with the waves in our pillows and the ship as our roost, flying the proud skull of their on our flags, on our sails. Right. So all that stuff, again, now they're in the age of piracy. Because what else can they do? They have no homes to go to. The world has been flooded. Now comes a storm, and this is important to read while we're going through this with the mural. Now comes a storm through the far-off sky. The waves are dancing, beat upon the drums. If you lose your nerve, this breath could be your last. What did the forest god do? Within the void, there was breath. Okay. But double interpretation, because you've got the stuff back in the day, during the time the song was written, this old sea shanty about the world, but also current day, right? Today, breath could be your last. Singing this going to war with Emu, right? This is it. We're in the final war. The world's about to end. Sing it with all your hearts, people. This breath could be your last. But if you just hold on, through this final fight, through final war against Emu, if you just hold on, the morning sun will rise. Yo, yo, ho, ho. They're all laughing. Going to deliver Bink Sake. Today and tomorrow are dreams through the night. Again, people of the half moon, people of the moon. Waving our goodbyes, we'll never meet again, right? We'll never meet again. The old world, again, goodbye, it's gone. Fishman Island destroyed. World government taken down. The world that you once knew is gone forever. We'll never meet again, but don't look down. For tomorrow night, the moon will also rise. The moon, symbolic for the dreams of the people of the moon, the people of the half moon, all coming together. People are liberated. We're good, we're here. Going to deliver Bink Sake, let's all sing with the dawn, a song of the waves. It doesn't matter who you are, someday you'll just be bones, never ending, ever wandering, our funny traveling tale. Bro, I'm telling you, the connection that we've all been talking about is there. It's there. It's there. It's been there. We've known it's been there all along. And all this stuff with the mural and all this stuff with the Void Century and everything, to me, it's crazy because I am not as blown away by... I'm blown away by a couple things on the mural. I'm blown away by like the existence of the forest god, sea god, earth god stuff. That is not really something I took into consideration. That was something that I've heard people speculate about that I never really like connected to all that much. But that clearly is now part of the lore of One Piece. But pretty much everything else here, from like the Mother Flame being abused and the world government taking over and Imu's shadow above the Noah in the second world, and the Atom Tree and the Void Century and the final war and all the races coming together and going against Imu, like this, otherwise this pretty much tracks 100%. And even the connection of the stuff with the moon, which as I said, way back before, when we were in like Wano country, I said that Elbaf was gonna deal with like religious differences, right? That you were gonna have the religious differences of the people that dated back to what Saul said before, that the giants have different beliefs. I've been saying that. So my assumption, again, even more now than ever, is if we are going to get Eneru's return, and we are going to get Uruj becoming a major portion of one of these upcoming story arcs, it's got to be now. Uruj, the one with some type of religious connection, having the connection to his home being destroyed by Eneru all those years ago, Eneru being on the moon, the arc Maxim, what could be the Uranus, there's everything. Whew, okay. That is my initial review and interpretation and analysis of this mural. But we have a lot more to go. I have been doing this for 1 hour and 12 minutes already, and I haven't gotten to super chats. We haven't seen the thumbnail for this one. I am very curious what James did for the thumbnail. I kind of hope he didn't do the mural, because the mural, I think, is actually a major spoiler. There's a lot of stuff in here for people who had you not seen One Piece or been caught up to One Piece. I think you could see this and immediately be spoiled about a lot of stuff. So I'm wondering if he didn't go with the mural, what he did. I'm dying to know what he did. So let's see James's thumbnail, and then let's jump into these theories. Again, I need to say right at the very beginning of this, massive thank you to everybody who's already been coming through to this stream. 2,500 viewers right now at the end of my hour-long review rant, watching live. 3,000 people coming live during the reaction. All the donations, all the memberships, everybody, thank you very much. I got to update the membership goals. I got to read all these super chats. I got to read Nakama theories. We got a lot. So sit back, relax, get your coffee right now, get your water. I'm going to set all this stuff up. We got a lot to get through. This is like one of my favorite One Piece streams I've ever done. This is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. All right. It is now time, 1.5 hours in, to see what this thumbnail looks like. So let's do it, James. Let's see what you did. Ooh, good. This is literally kind of what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted right here. This right here. That's all you need. Frankie's POV looking at the mural. Not spoiling the mural, not giving everything. You just, Frankie's exasperated looking at everything unfolding. That's exactly, I didn't direct, obviously, James on anything, because James had to do this before I read the chapter. So he clearly knows me and did the right thing, picking this exact perfect shot. Reaction thumbnail, shot of Frankie looking up at the mural. I also love what James did here with the light shining in the back of it, the light coming off the mural, the moss that's on the ancient tree. I also think it's kind of amazing and poetic that Frankie is the one who saw the mural first. We didn't really talk about this that much during the review, but when you think of the first person to discover the truth of the world, and obviously Robin is being told this in real time with Saul, but Frankie's the one actually seeing it in real time, I think it's kind of poetic that the guy who made the ship out of the wood from this tree that's going to guide the world into a new dawn, it's kind of poetic that he's the one who's seeing this. And I also and now I'm actually getting a little choked up saying this. I also think it's poetic and important because of what recently happened with Frankie's voice actor, right? That he's the one member of our crew that's not going to be able to see us to the end. And that now they recast his voice actor. And he's the one who wasn't able to see it to the end. So having him be the one to see the truth of the world first, super duper poetic. It is also poetic, as people are bringing up in my chat, because he's the only one to have ever met Roger. He's the only one of the whole crew to actually have physically met Roger. So the man who built the Thousand Sunny, the man who unfortunately will not be with us in real life to witness the end of One Piece. I mean, hopefully he's still alive, but obviously he won't be like the voice actor for Frankie. And being the only one to have met Roger, I think is a really poetic reason for him to be the first one to find out the truth of the world. I love this. James, I love this. You absolutely killed it. You did an amazing job. Absolutely amazing, amazing job on this. Very, very, very well done, James. Really good stuff. Wow. Okay. With that being said, we got to get into some super chats. We got to get into some theories. Now, I want to say this right at the very beginning. You guys feel free to get your super chats in. Feel free to get your theories in. But I want to say this right at the very beginning. I am assuming there's going to be a lot of super chats that are going to be repeating a lot of the same things. So I just want to say, if you super chatted with something we have already talked about and something that someone else has already brought up, we're going to say thank you, but we're going to go to the next super chat, because otherwise we're going to be here for 4 hours speculating over everything. Sometimes there might be a different speculation. There might be a different interpretation. Also, Naman's saying, why did the member count now not increase? It's because the member count's been going up too much during the stream. It literally froze my member count little thing in the background on OBS. So it's literally not going up despite all the new members. It hasn't been reaching. So we'll increase that. Don't worry. It's going to go up. We'll increase it. It'll be updated. We're going to be good. But I just wanted to leave that out there right now, that there is going to be a lot of stuff I'm sure that other people are bringing up and that will be repeated, that, again, we're just going to bypass if things have already been talked about and repeated, and you can go and watch the VOD afterwards. But, all right. But that is also, that's going to be fixed as well. So let's go back to just chatting, okay? Let's go back to this. Let me open up over here on YouTube right now. Shout out again to all the people who are in chat right now. This is a phenomenal, 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 phenomenal stream. I'm going to open this up. This is insane, too. The amount of, holy mackerel. We went from 797 to, from 777 to 797 to then 798 after Lucifer came through. Dude, what? 798 Nakama, bro. I think we're about to break like an emote goal as well. Don't we get a new emote at 850? Bro, Sharp Pop coming through as well. This is insane, man. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. 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 Bringing us to 818, dude. Holy mackerel. Shard Pop gifting out those memberships. Liberating the world with those memberships. Insane, dude. Thank you again. So much. All right. And we got Eduardo popping in as well. Holy mackerel. All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Let's get into these super chats. Let's get into these theories, because I know there's going to be a lot of them. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Wow. Okay. YouTube, I'm on the main page to open this up and read it. I got the Google Drive. Again, my poor Opera is running out of everything. Shout out, by the way, to Eduardo, by the way, for gifting 5 memberships as well. Appreciate that. Nakama, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bringing us to 823. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. This first one. Oh, hold on. No, I do have to open this in a different tab. Excuse me, one more thing. Excuse me. Sorry, there's just too much stuff going on this week. Insane. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm like so excited and happy, and I love this. This is the best. Also, shout out to all the people who have been subscribing during the stream. We just went to 461. We just hit 460. Insane. 461, bro. Insane. All right. Let me open this up. Here we go. Viewer activity from the very beginning. Let's see this. All right. Pause. First one, trailing all the way back, comes from Roberto, who actually just gifted memberships earlier as well, saying, when it said that it was who's who all along, It was just him kidnapping women all over Wano country. Right, so he was the one essentially that was in charge of kidnapping all the people. So he's the one that's going to get taken down by Yamato. Good. I'm actually glad you brought that up because to me, as we were going through the rest of the stuff in this chapter, I literally forgot about the who's who thing on the chapter cover page. I'm glad you're clarifying with your super chat, Roberto, that yes, indeed, Yamato. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, here we go. Next one comes from Black Hat 61, who said, by the way, it's my birthday and Vivi's birthday. Well, shout out, happy birthday to Vivi. Also, happy birthday to you, Black Hat 61. You're getting a great chapter for your birthday, saying it's amazing how this chapter dropped on the same day when a bunch of well-dressed men in a secret group consulted a non-human for guidance on Groundhog Day. I love your stuff. Yo, thank you very much, Black Hat. Also, yeah, didn't Puxatawny Phil see his shadow this morning? So that's 6 more weeks of winter. It is what it is. I like wintertime. I like being inside nice and cozy with my tea and my coffee. I like it. Wintertime in LA is fine. I don't mind it. All right, let us continue. This next one comes from Ray Abanid, who says, first world, I think, was the crossing of, or the growing of the red line, with the west and the east not meeting. I believe the second world represented the calm belt of north and south never meeting. And with the third world, with everyone finally meeting, is the calm belt and red line being destroyed, where all the seas will once again meet, thus all blue. Excellent, excellent interpretation. Pretty much in line with everything that I said during the review portion. Only thing that I didn't mention out of that was really the stuff with the red line. Well, I did a little bit, because I talked about the destruction of the red line being the thing that destroys Fishman Island. But the calm belt thing, to bring that up, I think is also interesting as well. That once again, the seas will all wave, people will be liberated, it'll be the all blue, you can fish for all your seas. That's beautiful. Great way to interpret all that, Ray. Thank you for the super chat. Really, really good stuff there. Good stuff, Ray. We got another one from Tech Zero, who said, do you smell what Oda's cooking? What a feast we have been eating good this year with the chapters. Holler if you hear me, chat. Shout out from Tech Zero. Everyone in chat, go leave a Nakama emote for Tech Zero over there. I do indeed smell what Oda's cooking, and it is glorious stuff indeed. Thank you very much. We got my man, the Dirty Apple, coming through. I love your name, by the way, because I love, you guys know this, I love food-based names. Applin's one of my favorite Pokemon. Applin, Appleton, Flapple, all of them, they're great. Thoughts, this is interesting. Thoughts on Wado Ichimonji having some type of devil fruit. Okay, wait a minute, you might be cooking. That would explain Ashura. And that Zoro, like, latently has been using the power without even noting that he has one. 3-sword style versus Cerberus with 3 swords. Oh, bro! He's spitting. You're spitting! You are spitting, Dirty Apple. 3-sword style versus a man with 3 swords. Cerberus, 3 heads. Mythical Zone versus Mythical Zone. I got my money on Zoro versus Shamrock. I love that. I love that. I love the idea that you got Zoro 3-sword style against the sword with 3 heads. I love, 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 love that idea. I also love the idea of Wado Ichimonji potentially having always had a devil fruit and explaining all the weird stuff that we see with Zoro. Like the Grim Reaper that we never got explained to us. Zoro growing the different limbs for Ashura that never got explained. I actually really, really love that. And Ashura being the enemy of the gods as well, tying in versus the Holy Knights. Dirty Apple, you are cooking. That's a phenomenal theory. I love that. Well, well done, Dirty Apple. Well done. We got Shard Pop coming through with a donation, saying, I don't think the left half is present day. I really do think it was actually Joy Boy's fight with his crew, and that Luffy has simply been recruiting the same group of people. It could be. Shard Pop, it could be. You are not alone in your assumption that that is not of the future, and that that could have been Joy Boy of the past, and that the robot that you're seeing there was actually Emmett, and that the samurai there were actually the samurai of Old Wano. It very well could be. That could be the interpretation of Joy Boy's fight during the Void Century. However, I still believe that that fight that happened in the Void Century is one and done, prophesizing what we're seeing right now, right? Which is that not only was it what happened in the past, but it is also our future, right? If Joy Boy once did this, became the sun, and did this and led the people, even though they failed, even though the lyrics of Bink Sake straight up tell us goodbye to the old world, right? We're going to leave it to the next generation. Yo-ho, yo-ho-ho. Let's sail the seas now. The sea is our home. The waves are our home. Our home is gone. That could very well be Joy Boy's fight. However, like I said, when this drawing was drawn, there was cultural exchange, but there wasn't really cultural exchange. The people didn't really know each other. So that's my only thing against that, is that like the giant children who potentially drew this in the tree, my assumption is that they would not have known all these different races. Where would they be drawing this from? I'd assume they're drawing it from the words of the Harley itself. But honestly, I don't think that's a bad interpretation. That fight on the left is both what happened during the Second World and what will happen in the Third World. But I do think Oda was very careful with his placement of the first, second, and third world thing, and the three different gods, with the earth god, with the forest god, and the sea god, and the sun returning. Because the assumption, right, is that the sea god would be Emu, the forest god who tamed demons and who's breathing fire against the earth god is actually the bird on the tree, that's actually the earth god. That Luffy right there obviously is the sun god. When Joy Boy, whatever, the Nika is the sun god. And the earth god is the giant serpent breathing the flames. So again, you got the four gods all represented there. It's just, I think people are probably forgetting that Luffy is one of those four. That Nika is one of those four. But thank you, again, for bringing that up. Appreciate that. And I do think that's an important thing to note, and I'm glad you brought it up there in a super chat as well. Very good stuff. Sam Fisher donated and said, honestly, I think 1138 is going to become shorthand in the community for absolute greatness. I couldn't agree more. Kuma7799 says there's even Eneru's Maxim arc between the dragon's fire breaths, as we brought up during the review, of course. Uman super chatted and said, how long has Oda had these words written and waiting to publish them? 20 years? 25? We honestly need to treasure these moments together, because eventually we will know everything. I mean, to be fair, if we're keeping it 100, we're kind of learning everything right now. Like, I truly believe the majority of what we need to know going into the end of One Piece is on this mural right here. The production of the devil fruits, the touching of the forbidden sun, Maxim, Emu, the world flooding, the void century, Joy Boy's rise, the people rising, all the fates meeting, the four different gods, the world government, the ancient civilization, everything. He's kind of spoiling One Piece in this mural right now. And it might not be fully understood 100% until we reach the end, but this is it, man. This is like what we've been waiting for. I actually, I like broke down in tears during the Gear 5 chapter. I hesitate to maybe get ahead of myself, but I'm going to say this right now. I think this is the best chapter I've ever read. In the history of me doing reviews on One Piece, 10 years, I think this is the best one. In terms of speculation, theory, reveals, this is it. I think this is the chapter. I think this is the best chapter I have read in real time for One Piece, period, full stop. This is the best one. I really do. And I've been through a lot. You guys got to remember, I've been doing this since Dressrosa. I have been reading this. And there have been some banger chapters. Those Reverie chapters, peak. Gear 5, peak. Some Egghead, peak. This right here, I think, is the single best. If we're narrowing down just one chapter, this right here is the best. Raizo is safe, peak. Absolute peak. All right, let us continue. Whew. Wow, this is amazing. All right, let's continue. And Uman, you're totally right in saying, treasure these moments while we got them. Exactly. Also, in terms of how long has he been waiting to publish this, I honestly think he's had this plan since Skypiea. Once you go back into stuff with the Sun God and how important Skypiea is, I do think he's kind of known this for a long time. All right, let us continue. This next one comes from Tobias Dahl, saying that rereading and rewatching Whitebeard's final speech after this is incredible, 10 out of 10. The man that he was waiting for was not you, Teach. Exactly. Absolute peak. Thank you, by the way, Josh Stewart, coming through not just at the regular membership tier, but at the Nakama tier, bringing us at 824. Bro, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's give our man a Nakama in the chat. Nakama, Josh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Rereading the speech is incredible, but we also had Shard Pop saying that chapter 287 during the Nolan flashback did indeed mention and name the 4 gods. So you might be onto something. Sun, forest, rain, and earth. Also, wait, that's a real interesting thing I want to bring up. You mentioning the rain thing. I think rain and sea is one and the same. I do think it's one of the same. Umi, imu, backwards. Sea, umi in Japanese. Imu, backwards. If Imu has the power to flood the world and is the rain god, that could be one thing. However, the thing that I think is important to note is I think it's trying to throw you off with what you're seeing here. I think it's trying to throw you off. I think Imu is the modern day either devil fruit user or earth god user. Because again, where is Marijoa? It's at the top of the red line. And though he may, and the world government may be able to flood the world, I actually think he may not be. I think it's up to interpretation who Imu could be at this point. Because I think it's actually somewhat more likely that the guy in charge of all of this would be the guy that is in charge of the fruit that punished all the people in the first place. And that he somehow got control of it during that war during the Void Century. Because we have a character who can literally create storms that we've seen in the series right now, and that is Dragon. And if the sea god is the same as the rain god, part of me believes that and symbolically with Luffy being the sun, I kind of think that could be Dragon. Right? We've speculated that Dragon has some type of storm devil fruit for a very long time, either cyclone fruit, hurricane fruit, whatever. But he could also maybe be one of the 4 god fruits. So I wouldn't put it past that. And again, I'm glad that, again, you bring up, Oda's been planning this in Skypiea. Exactly. Thank you, Shard Pop. All right, Tech Zero. Donating again after him saying, let's all give our love to Oda. Saying right here, this is the most lore fest ever. None of our lives are ever going to be the same after this. Save the date. We'll come back to this. Remember this chapter forever. Remember, says Tech Zero. Shout out. We got my man Josh Stewart coming through right now with a $20 donation saying, I wonder if all this being a child's dream could actually be Oda's take on wishing upon a star and the wishes of the people, right? The dreams of the people of the half moon, the moon god, coming true. With Imu being the shadow, I also think about Skypiea, and that when Luffy rang the bell, there was the bright light, the sun god, who cast the large shadow, Imu. Interesting juxtaposition there with the idea of shadow and darkness, and actually there being like a light within the darkness being portrayed through Luffy's shadow. Very, very nice. Good symbolism going on there. I got to reload my page because there's so much stuff going on it. Very, very nice little thing to note, Josh. Thank you for bringing that up. Nakama. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I got to go back real quick, though, because there's a lot of other super chats that I'm missing that we haven't gone through just yet that I have to read. Hold on. 1 second. Let me scroll back to the right one. I don't want to miss any of these. And I still have to do the Nakama reads. I got a lot of stuff, so give me a second. Thank you very much again, Josh. Tech Zero. Okay, here we go. Naman donated simply with, yay, live stream. Of course I was going to live stream this. What do you think? And my man Augie also came through with the super chat as well. Thank you very much, Nakama. Appreciate that. Paul Glansman came through with the super chat saying, do we think the Figar lands have the will of D, but simply didn't betray Imu? it would explain Garling's hair. Oh, with it being the moon? See, I almost wonder if the Figar lands, or if Garling himself has the moon beard almost as like a way to taunt the people of the half moon. Because he, again, is like, he's clearly going to be evil, right? He's obviously on the Gorosei. He's obviously a bad dude. He was the head of the Holy Knights for a long time. He killed Don Quixote Moshiard or whatever after Reverie, the events of the Reverie. I don't see a world in which he's going to end up being good. Figarland D. Shamrock. Figarland D. Shanks. Figarland D. Garling. I mean, I'm not going to write off the idea that maybe Figarland could be Figarland with a hidden will of D. I won't write that off completely. But I don't see a world in which we get redemption for Garling and Shamrock. I kind of feel like those characters, especially if we find out Shamrock is the father of Bonnie and Garling already killed the one good Don Quixote, I feel like I don't really think we're going to get full-on redemption for them with them betraying Emu, but I don't know. I think the moon thing, knowing what we know about the story, is more interpretation, at least my interpretation of it, is more of him taunting the people who believe in the moon, right? Figarland D, you got Lucky laughing, saying Figarland D, they've both referred to the rest of the world as filth and trash. Exactly. So I feel like they are the epitome of like the worst of the celestial dragons. So I don't necessarily buy that they're gonna heel turn, but I would love to be wrong. And I think that would be cool. Rob Harley came through with the $10 super chat saying, super hype chapter, 11 out of 10. What chapter made you realize that One Piece was the greatest manga you ever read? For me, it was this chapter. Got literal goosebumps multiple times. Couldn't agree more, Rob. Couldn't agree more. And Naman also donating, saying, this should absolutely increase the count for members, bringing up the stuff with the membership. Absolutely, Naman. Sure did. We got Shard Pop, $5 super chat, saying, Cerberus doesn't have a fruit name. He has the black ring of smoke, but he also looks in pain. When he first appears, I ask you to look at his eyes. Okay. I mean, my assumption is it is a devil fruit, but it just says Cerberus. I mean, wait a minute. I mean, he's summoning Cerberus out of his sword. There is some type of likelihood, as we've brought up on multiple occasions, that Cerberus is a yokai in the same way the Gorosei are infused with yokai. And that you're right, if there's no devil fruit name, maybe it's not necessarily a Cerberus devil fruit. Maybe it is literally Cerberus. Maybe he's summoning one of hell's demons, right? From Emu. That Emu, in the same way we believe Emu imbued power in Gunko and the Gorosei, and we saw the satanic circles, maybe he imbued power in his sword. Could be. Could be. Also, Satwit bringing up that we still got 2,300 people here an hour and a half into the stream while we're just going through super chats. Goes to show how good the chapter is. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. All right, let me read some more of these because we got some more great theories in here. We have Zoro Arctivus bringing this up, saying, could the Emmet figure in the mural actually be a fully repaired Emmet with Vegapunk tech? Kind of like the Vega Force 1. Maybe this will be how the other punks return. Ooh, I love that! That the other punks still present in Egghead above actually imbue inside Emmet and show up during Final War in like one giant Vega Force 1. Dude, that's a great theory. That's a great theory, Zoro. I love that. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it. Also, Shard Pop said, I want to mention that there's 19 stick figures on the right side carrying the stars. Could be symbolic for something moving forward. Very well could be. Glad you brought that up, Shard Pop. We got Augie super chatting again, saying Shanks' sword. Shanks is saying that 5 times fast. Shanks' sword might be a griffin. In mythology, the griffin guards and protects treasure. It would be the great antithesis for Shamrock's sword being Cerberus, which guards the gates of hell and the underworld, aka the government and Emu. I mean, I do like the idea that potentially Shanks' crew does not use devil fruits. they utilize hockey, but that his sword could potentially be some type of devil fruit user. I like that idea. I don't hate the idea of the Griffin thing. Also, to go to the 19 stick figure thing being symbolic of something, Shard Pop, as people are bringing up in the chat, the 19 stick figures could represent the 19 kings of the world government, right? That the world government was founded with 20 and Lily betrayed them, and that brought it to 19, and that's all the swords in front of the empty throne. The thing that's interesting about that, though, if I go to that page real quick, about the 19 kings, and going back to this, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Yep. The thing that's interesting about that is that some of these kings, right, that are rising out of it with the stick figures, the kings, some of them, I presume, to be artificial devil fruit creations, the ones with the halos above them. But if you look at the ones without the halos and count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 that are actually feeding into the world government, 12, 13, 14, 15 giving to the world government. There's 16, 17, 18, 19 rising from the ground, the last 4. However, you can see another 5 in the panel to the left, plus the angel. So while I think it is maybe a cool piece of symbolism, maybe the 4 with the halos represent like the good governments. Like people like Nefertari, Riku's line, the Doldo line for Dressrosa. Maybe that's representative of the ones that are going to go against the world government moving into Final War. Maybe. That's a good thing to bring up, though. And I do think there's a possibility there to like reflect the 19 kings in some way. I like that a lot. Thank you for bringing that up. King D Wildfire came through and super chatted and said, do you see King in the mural? There he is. The one-winged angel shall return to give Emu despair. We did bring him up where you see him flying above Nika during the Final War. I mean, I do think it's kind of cool that King would be present on the side of good during Final War, considering he followed Kaido and believed him to be like his one true person who's going to lead us into liberation. And obviously all the stuff with Lunarians and him being the last Lunarian, I do kind of like the idea that King would be present throughout all of this. Because again, the Lunarians were clearly present during the Second World, during the Void Century. But I do love this a lot. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Very cool to see King there. We also have, what else is going on here? We have Saba come through with a donation saying, this is the same feeling that I got at the end of Skypiea, where your brain kind of explodes because you don't even consider that this manga did this kind of world building. It's what makes One Piece go from peak manga to peak fiction overall. One of the greatest stories ever told, man. I'm telling you right there. One of the greatest stories ever told. I think it's easy to get caught up in the week-to-week agendas and the week-to-week like shonen aspect of it all, the stupid aspects of the fandom. But I feel like at the end of the day, when you look at it as a piece of fiction and the story that it's telling, it is fantastic. Like it is truly a fantastic adventure with lots of cool symbolism, filled with comedy and action and lore. It's great. It's just told, you know, as a manga. It's just the way it was chosen to be told. I love it though. Okay. Ace super chatted and said, I think the serpent actually represents the red line itself. The middle shadow might represent the seas rising and the last being Emu. Interesting. I mean, again, goes in line with what we said with the Earth God thing and Emu potentially creating the red line, getting it during the Void Century. Great. Glad you brought that up. We got Sir Angel of York coming through with a $20 super chat saying, Roger, first time, long time. Somewhat related to the chapter, do you think some famous legendary pirates or figures in history are actually a part of the God Knights? Since they're willing to recruit and are bringing another to Elbaf right now, could they end up being legendary pirates? Is there anybody you have in mind, Sir Angel, that they might be recruiting? Again, it's a rarity that the God Knights recruit people. They even said that last chapter with Loki, They said it's not every day that we do this. We're doing this for you, because they obviously want a giant on their side. And I'm assuming that Emu and the people within the world government must already be aware of the same story this mural is portraying from the Harley. They must already know this. And I think on one hand, they might be like, look, trying to recruit Loki, understanding that Loki might be that giant with the spear that we're seeing in this right now. He might be the one. I don't hate that. And I also think there is a potential for Rox to have been one of those people, right? That Rox seemingly died during the God Valley incident, but Rox doing anything for power may have betrayed the people of the D. He's Rox D. Sebek and Marshall D. Teach, right? And they're not the ones that Roger was looking for. I kind of like the idea that Rox D. Sebek went against the Ds and was a false D, and potentially maybe did join with them. Maybe he's still alive. Maybe Sebek is still alive within the God Knights. That would be crazy. I would love that. That'd be a super interesting twist. I would love that. Oh, Jur, literally in the chat, just said Rox. As I was saying Rox, it was like, wait, ... ellipses. My man. So clearly we're on the same wavelength. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Wow. All right, great. Very good stuff there. Let me continue reading. Hold on a second. We got, let me keep scrolling because I missed one of these. Man, we still have a lot of these. Wow. We have a lot. King Wildfire and Saba. Okay, here we go. Devante is the next one, saying the first world creation of the Red Line with the fire splitting the seas, and then the second world origin being the origin of the devil fruits. Maybe the third is indeed the Void Century in the future. Well, no, the Void Century is the end of the second world, right? Void Century, from my reading of the book, is the emptiness, right? Within the chaos, there was emptiness that starts off the third world. So the Void Century is the split from the second to the third, is my assumption. I don't think the Void Century is entirely in the third world. I think it's the end of second world going into the third world. I mean, I could be wrong, though. I could be reading it wrong. But I do like the idea that, yeah, the second one, the spreading of the fires of war, right, is the spreading of the devil fruits across the world. We brought that up a little bit during my review portion, and I completely agree. I think that's a possibility. Yeah, I definitely think that's a possibility. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, Devante. Forever Nami came through and said, what a chapter. I'm honestly not sure if it came up yet, but could those with the Half Moon and the Will of D be direct descendants of Joy Boy's original crewmates? I actually really do like that as well, right? That Joy Boy's original crewmates being the people that went against the, the Emu equivalent of their old time, which also could have very well just been Emu. That those original crewmates were all people that carried on the will of the Half Moon and the will of the people of the moon during the flooding of the world. I think that could be one and the same. You could be descendants of the original crewmates and also be descendants of the ancient kingdom, I believe. Yeah, I think they can be one and the same. So I think you're onto something, Forever Nami. Mike Moore also donating, bringing up something that I brought during my reaction and my review, saying, Roger, I'm 75% sure Frankie is indeed standing in front of something at the base of the tree. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Absolutely, Mike. Hollow Avarice coming through, saying, could Emu have killed Joy Boy during the Void Century to become God? That man killed the sun god and became God, which could explain the giant straw hat that he has. Absolutely. That is absolutely a possibility that he could have killed Joy Boy. Because even if he killed Joy Boy, who was the sun god of the time, right? Who was that version, that version of Nika, that doesn't necessarily mean that he needs to eat that devil fruit. He could be the owner of the earth god devil fruit, as we brought up earlier. He could be the actual devil fruit. He could be any number of things. But you are correct in that he could have killed him, which is why the world government had the fruit to begin with. And who's who and the stuff with the ship and Shanks and all of that, which then ties into why Shanks wanted that fruit to begin with and stole it from the world government because he obviously knows something because of Shamrock and Garling. You're cooking. So yes, I do absolutely believe that, yeah, man killed the sun god and became God doesn't necessarily need to mean becoming Nika. It could mean him becoming God of the world, red line, splitting the seas, overseeing everything, and the sun god being dead in the dreams of the people, waiting for the day where Nika would be liberated once more. Absolutely, positively. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. We have another, bro, there's so many super chats this week. Thank you all again. And you guys have been, there's honestly not been a lot of overlap. I feel like there's been a lot of good standalone super chats that haven't really, overlapped with one another. This is really, really good. All right, hold on. This next one comes from Ronald III, who says, look up chapter 1033 and page 4. This is, Oda is such a troll. And by the way, I'm glad you brought up Bink Sake. We did. We talked about it earlier. Chapter 1033, page 4. Okay, let me open this up. 1033, page 4. Okay. What is page 4? This is in the middle of Wano, right? So this is chapter 1033, Shimotsuki Kozaburo, okay? Page 4. That was Pirate Hunter on the snail just now. Trust me, he can't be beat, King. That guy's a remnant of the extinct Lunarians, a monster capable of surviving any natural environment. In the past, his people were known as gods. When would they have died out? You want to know? Go ask a history book. With all the stuff that we're seeing right now. In the past, in the distant past, his people were known as gods. But why would they have died out? And he's like, go ask a history book. And now here we are with the Harley, how they died out, how they got wiped out. I'm glad you brought that up because I did not remember that line from Wano. So much of Wano is like a blur to me now. I'm glad you brought that up. Cool stuff. All right, 1033. Thank you very much for that. Very, very good. Tev Sauce just came through and said, chapter straight fire. I do think you're right. Eneru will descend from the moon very soon. I'm telling you. Shard Pop also donated again and said, chat, how many times has Roger removed his glasses this stream? A lot of them, probably. A lot of them. Mega Milktastic, crazy wild username, says, look at the cover of the Harley. It looks like a crest of Alabasta, but also looks like the phases of the moon. Potentially an indication that the people of the full moon, half moon, and the different races were all coming together. Let me see this. Typing this in right now. The crest of Alabasta, I mean, we clearly see that on the ship that is to the right of Loki in the future / potentially Joy Boy war within the second world that's on the left side of the mural. With Vivi in the front of, well, that would be Lily. My assumption would be, if this is the past, that would probably be Lily on the front of the ship with the flag of Alabasta and the sun. And then in the modern interpretation, would probably end up being Vivi. There's a lot of interesting stuff here too. Just other stuff that I'm noticing, like the ship that's on the bottom, underneath Loki and the Wano ship. You've got the ship with the flag and then the spear and then like the curved, what looks like the smoke of, like, you know how like Luffy's got the little smoke ring? I'm wondering what's going on with that one. And I'm also wondering what some of these other kingdoms were. Obviously, we're going to see these other kingdoms at some point in the future. But I do like that the minks are right there in the front with the giants, with Poseidon, running full force into it. I also think the giant in front of Loki, with our version of Final War, I think the giant right in front of the God Knights, I think that's Haruden. Right? Because Haruden's whole dream is being king of the giants. Right? Of course, he would be the one leading the charge when Elbaf is the land of war. Right? They're always at war. My assumption would be that that guy, the giant right there in the front, who's like crouching over, is actually Haruden. I think that's Haruden. And I think, again, the big one standing next to Luffy with the horns, I think is Loki. Because, again, his horns go out like this, and the other horns go out like that, which are similar to the other giant heads. So I do think that's Haruden on there. Which is also cool seeing it with like the Mermaid Princess and Shirahoshi and the minks. Very cool. Also, I love that the mink is drawn like a teddy bear, but also has the long tail of like an Inuarashi or an Ekamamushi. Very cool stuff. Very, very, very cool stuff. Let me continue. Excuse me. Again, lots of super chats, lots of great stuff. Thank you for bringing that up. Crest of Alabasta, again, I think you're onto something mega milk-tastic. We talked about it a little bit during my review. Again, Lily, Vivi, the connection there. You're right on. You're right on. Shard Pop donated again, man, and said, I'm surprised there's no straw hat in the mural. What's Emu's frozen hat meant to mean then? Unless Frankie's body is blocking something. I actually do like the idea that Frankie's body is actually blocking the giant straw hat at the middle on the bottom. Would be kind of cool. As a symbolic thing of the rising of the dawn and the D and the crest of the moon. I'm still blown away by the fact that we got confirmation the Will of D is in fact a pictogram of the half moon. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome to finally get the confirmation of that in this chapter. So cool. Saba donated again and said, could the first world be a version of today's IRL world? Civilizations going crazy with energy sources causing an apocalypse, altering it in a way that would allow for supernatural things like devil fruits to exist? It's kind of cool. Oda's writing a prophecy of what's to come with the downfall of humanity and warning us of what'll happen if we end up, experimenting too much and using too much energy and not watching the world and taking care of our others. I mean, who knows? Oda could be saying a lot of things. Toon also donated and saying this has got to be a story of the past, void, and future of One Piece. It's safe to assume that the voice of all things is certainly more important and powerful than we were led to believe. Well, who was led to believe it wasn't powerful, Toon, is my question. What kind of tune were they singing? If they thought that the voice of all things wasn't going to be important, what manga were they reading? Of course, the voice of all things is going to be important. Of course, Toon. Again, though, you're totally right on. The past, void, and future, exactly. Totally right on. I also love what Kriti super chatted, saying, what if the whale in the mural is not just Laboon, but potentially also symbolic of the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates, with his ship being the Moby Dick? Also good. Well, we know, obviously, the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates are going to be on our side. I mean, we know that already. The ones that are left over that Blackbeard didn't kill, Marco already worked with us in Wano Country. He's not going anywhere. Absolutely a good call. Great thing to say. Absolutely good to point out. Marco's going to be their final war. They're all present. Absolutely. Of course. Of course, of course, of course. Hold on. Dude, there's just... Okay, we're getting close to the end of the Super Chats now, which is good. This one comes from Chaos Lurlin, who says, we see two different creatures breathing fire at each other as if two dragons, one possibly celestial and fighting. If dragon does indeed have a god fruit, that could be connected to the breath in the void and would lead to a fight and a clash between, again, the earth god or the god of the forest or the sea god once again. Once again, setting up the stuff with the holy knights. And once they move, the revolutionaries move. And the revolutionaries going against the world government, where that fight with the revolutionaries and the world government literally being a fight amongst the gods. Totally. Totally, 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 Chaos Lurlin, you're spitting. And on that topic, Joker's Broker also super chatted and saying maybe Blackbeard saw this as well, and that the forest equals the snake, the earth god equals the earthquake fruit, and he thinks the dark creature is actually the darkness fruit. So it's his own interpretation of what this myth could be, and he's basically trying to amass these devil fruits to become even stronger and bypass the will of the gods and the will of the ancient kingdom. Sure. Great way to look at it. I do think, I love the interpretation of like the earthquake, earth god symbolism and the darkness fruit, and that the snake would be his one true like mythical one. I love that. Love that. Mike Geru, I hope I'm saying your name right. Mike Geru highlights, says, on the mural behind Loki, you see a ship with three faces, which I believe to be Blackbeard's ship. In the mural behind Loki, a ship with three faces. Where are you seeing the ship with three faces? I'm looking. There's the Wano ship, the Alabasta ship, Emmet the whale, the minx with the sword, the Lunarians, Luffy, the Tontada, the fish, the mermaids, the minx and the giants, and then the 3 ships on the bottom. Where are I'm not seeing the faces. Am I missing something, chat? Oh, it's the one that we're assuming is the Kuja pirate ship. Also the black ship potentially being the revolutionary ship, right? On the bottom. I mean, that's one interpretation. I mean, I could definitely see a world in which the enemy of my enemy is my friend temporarily during Final War, in which Blackbeard helps them take down the world government and take down Emu, but in reality swipes Emu's devil fruit, swipes Emu's power, becomes one of the gods himself to go after the One Piece, and then we have that final fight with Luffy at the end. Sure. Yeah, my assumption was that was the Kuja pirate ship on the bottom, but I think that's not a completely wild interpretation, that it could be Blackbeard working with them in the future to take down Emu, and then obviously betraying them. Yeah, great thing to bring up. Again, not a lot of crossover with the super chats this week. I don't know. See, when a good chapter drops, I feel like people have more to talk about, and so there's not a lot of overlap. This is awesome. Zam also donated and said, shout out to James this week. Zam the all. Shouting out James, saying if there was ever a perfect thumbnail for this chapter, it really was this one. James absolutely cooked this week, bro. He did, Zam. He did indeed. Thank you for coming through with that one. Joker's Fallen One also donated and said, Roger, I think you should read 968, page 4 as well. 968, page 4. Let's open this up. 968, page 4. Where is this? Here we go. 968, page 4. Oden's Return. 968, page 4. This is Roger. Okay. Here goes. Lay it on us. I am disbanding the Roger Pirates. So this is the disbandment of the Roger Pirates, right? The birthing is at hand. Our sovereign will soon be born in another distant sea. The whales are delighted in anticipation that the day the 2 sovereigns will meet again. Right. We've been waiting so long, and it's almost here. And surely all will go well this time. 10 until the birth, 15 to grow. And that's them, of course, talking about what will happen when the dawn will eventually rise and Luffy and everything. And Charlie, when is the mermaid princess going to be born? 10. Obviously, we see her right there in the mural. We know all this. I'm certain that the voice was speaking truth, that someone will be born and eventually surpass us. We were just too early. The One Piece, they called it. I wonder who will find it. And he's saying, it'll be my son, of course. And he's going, you don't have one. And that's when Roger got the idea. Let's make Ace. Come on, Rouge. I will. Just you wait. Let's drink up, lads. Head towards the sea where the Navy won't be waiting. Man, oh man, oh man. Glorious. That flashback really was the best part of Wano Country, dude. That Roger flashback was just so good. Thank you for bringing that up again. Because, yeah, again, further confirmation that everything that's been said is true. And the stuff with all of the sea gods and the sea kings, their interpretation, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Okay. Where did I leave off? This one comes from Gemsbach, who says, Roger, this chapter is not only a contender for chapter of the year, but chapter of all time. Do you think the Roger Pirates see the mural as well? And could that be another reason why they laughed when they got to Laugh Tale? That again, they were just too early. That they saw the speculation. Again, my prediction, which is what I've said for a very, very long time, is I believe the thing waiting, the One Piece that's going to tell us the truth of the world, all this stuff, my assumption is I think it is a bottle of sake waiting to be popped when the world has been liberated and everyone can party and finally meet. All the seas come together, all the races come together, they all have a party. That's also, to be fair, Big Mom's dream as well, to have the party with all the races sitting together. Her dream becomes fulfilled with Luffy's dream, with a giant party and everyone becoming free, everyone becoming pirates, everyone becoming liberated. So many of the dreams of so many of the major characters in the story completely connect into one dream at Laugh Tale if the assumption is that we have a giant party at the end of One Piece. So, yeah, completely agree. that the Roger Pirates know the story, knew they were too early, and laughed and thought, you know what, let's party it up, but at least we know someone's coming will actually make the world a better place, even if we were too early. Yeah. Hollow Avarice donated again and said, Shamrock's sword also made me wonder if it's possible that world nobles don't have devil fruits to keep them pure, which wouldn't apply to soldiers like Gunko, who were potentially recruited to the God Knights. That they're basically their weapons are imbued with devil fruits or powers or things to keep them pure. Very interesting thing to note. Yeah, very interesting thing to note. Artie also super chatted and said, could the kids, excuse me one second. Let me open this up. Could the kids who drew the mural have had Toki's devil fruit and awakened it? Potentially being able to see the past, present, and future. Could the giant children have had Toki's devil fruit? I mean, I'm going to say Toki came from the Void Century, right? We know that about Toki. She came from the Void Century to Oden's time and then eventually sent the samurai forward in the future. If Toki came from their time, and we know there is some type of connection with Wano and Elbaf and the Skypians, what's to say that Toki wasn't propelled forward into the future from the moment we're seeing on the left-hand side of the mural? If we're to presume that it's both a version of our future and our final war and also the war of Joy Boy's past, who's to say that Toki actually isn't on that ship? That the ship with the samurai and the ship from Wano country, that potentially Toki is on that ship, witnessing all of this, and flies into the future into Oden's time. I don't hate that idea. I really don't. I don't hate that idea at all. She was trying to find Wano, right? So if she was there and trying to find her people again and knows this truth about the world and was trying to get to Wano country, I don't necessarily believe that like the giant kids who drew this had Toki's power, but I do think Toki was present in some capacity throughout all the stuff we're seeing in the mural. I do. Toon also donated again and said, I think Dragon's devil fruit, you're totally right, could be either forest god because of the breath being mistaken as wind, or the sea god because of Dragon's power over the sea winds. Exactly. Open to interpretation. I do genuinely believe, though, Toon, that we're looking at a situation, as I've brought up multiple times on the stream, in which Dragon's devil fruit will be that of one of the gods. It's looking closer and closer like that is going to end up being the case. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you very much. Gilgamesh, on that same topic, super chatted and said, do you think the sea god could be a Cthulhu, a Leviathan, or some type of world serpent? I mean, it's clearly some giant snake. We've seen this. We know that. I don't think any of these shadows that we're seeing on the mural are really, none of them look like Cthulhu to me. But like a Leviathan world serpent type deal. Also world serpents and their connection to Elbaf. Like there's a lot of stuff that could be connected and fleshed out there. Also, this is just one version of the story, right? There's multiple versions of the Harley that tell this story. So we might next chapter end up just seeing another interpretation of this story. We could end up seeing another version of the mural that's going to make us all speculate next week. That's pretty cool. Much Diddy also just super chatted and said, I really needed this to happen. This is all going to be super peak. I'm telling you, man. It's all great. Makaru also donated, yeah, it was the ship on the right behind the hair of Loki on the mural that has 3 fronts. I interpreted that one to be Blackbeard's ship. Got it. Also, Shardpop donated and said, is Kaido's Ragnarok, conqueror of the 3 worlds, supposed to be land, sea, and air? Like the 3 worlds of the 3 gods? I'm still wondering, see, I was unfortunately a little bummed out by the lack of stuff like this in Kaido's flashback that we got. I feel like Kaido's flashback, for me, was slightly underwhelming in Wano Country. I feel like we didn't get enough. And I understood that he needed to sort of hold stuff back in order to reveal stuff to us later on, or like hide the truth of what happened during the God Valley incident because of this, that, or this. But now that we know that there are the ancient giants and that King Harold ripped off his own horns, I am wondering if Kaido in the kingdom was also somehow related to these ancient giants. Because again, Onigashima is obviously the skull of a giant ancient giant with the horns. So there's got to be some type of connection there. There's got to be a connection between Kaido and the ancient giants that we found out about from King Harold and what we're seeing here. Honestly, I mean, Kaido obviously failed. He wasn't the conqueror of anything. But maybe he did know some of this, and maybe he was saying that to proclaim like he's standing above the rest of the gods. I don't know. At the end of the day, Kaido was a fish who awakened his devil fruit and became a dragon. That's kind of it. That's kind of what happened. I also think, David said, I think that's actually Yamato's devil fruit on the top right of Emmet. The guardian deity of Wano. Kaido did say the devil fruit's special, and we know that Yamato will be in Final War. Oh, you know what? You're right on. You're right on. Yeah. You know, I actually think that is what that is. You're talking about, yeah, to the top right of Emmet in the panel. Essentially, that was the guardian deity from the past that is now going to be present in our version. So that's the old user of Yamato's fruit in Joy Boy's time. And in our time will be reflected by Yamato. I like that a lot. I'm glad you pointed that out. Because, yeah, you know what? Looking at this, that does look more like a devil fruit than it does a mink itself. And we see the minks right at the forefront next to the giants and the mermaids and the tontatas and the fish like the sea kings rising from the sea. And we know, yeah, and if Yamato didn't join the crew, but is obviously going to be present in some capacity towards the end as an ally, someone similar to Loki, someone similar to the samurai. Yeah, you're right, Haruden, all the rest of them. I do think that's actually a good interpretation, that could actually be Yamato. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love the interpretation. Great. Good stuff there. Yeah, I completely missed that. And again, that connects directly with what we're seeing with Yamato's cover story, because I still think the Yamato cover story's got to go somewhere and mean something. My assumption is still Yamato's cover story will end with Yamato discovering old Wano country and Pluton, right? That's got to be, and then that'll lead us into Final War. And that maybe Pluton is going to be the ship the samurai ride in on during Final War. I would love that. We also got another donation coming from Muchadiddy saying, I can't carry this on, my fellow Nakamas, but I'll carry this as far as I can. Dinner's ready. I got to go. Thank you very much for the super chat, Nakama. Charizard said, do you think the sword and shield that Nika wields are representations of her Zoro and Sanji in the final battle? No, I think it's meant to be representations of like the mythical, like the sword that we saw, not the sword, excuse me, the shield that we saw during Egghead, right? The attack from Dorian Bragi, and the sword being something like another ancient weapon of Elbaf. I don't necessarily think that that is Zoro and Sanji directly. I do like the idea. Zoro and Sanji, right, are the wings of the Pirate King. So they're obviously going to be present in Final War. They're obviously going to be present in some capacity. But I don't necessarily think Zoro and Sanji are meant to be representative of the sword and shield. I mean, it could be. Not to say your interpretation's wrong. It very well could be. But I don't think that's meant to be what that is. Though, again, that's a cool interpretation. The idea of like the first mate being the right-hand man, the sword. I don't hate that at all. Clack's coming through saying, is it possible, Roger, that the great age of piracy was just to fulfill the prophecy that he knew about, so that the destined people would one day fight in final war? Oh, well, of course, yeah. I mean, that Roger started the great age of piracy to fulfill the prophecy that everyone would go out to sea, discover the truth of the world, and then one day make this come true. Yes, Clax. Yes. 110% yes. I feel like we've said that multiple times in the stream in multiple different ways, but to clarify, in full stop, full text, Yes, absolutely, yes. Absolutely, that is why he started the Great Age of Piracy, of course. The man he was waiting for is not you, Teach. Bro, again, Whitebeard speech, everything. Of course. Yes, of course. Of course, of course, of course, of course. We still have other super chats that I'm missing, though. There's a jump in between that I want to read. I want to read some of these. Slay It Out said, best chapter by far. I have a theory that one of the reasons Frankie is the one to find the mural is that he also might be the representation for the new Emmett. I was going to bring that up earlier. I'm glad you said that. I literally was thinking about this earlier. We had that super chat that brought up the idea of the other Vegapunks potentially piloting Emmett, what's left of Emmett, and creating the new Vega Force 1 going into Final War. However, I also love the idea of the mech and Frankie being the one to see this, being Frankie, piloting that ship potentially. I mean, he could literally be in the Vega Force. He could merge and give us what we all wanted from that Frankie Vegapunk lore that we expected from Egghead in the first place, where he goes super, becomes a giant mech, and is a Gundam flying around at the end of Final War. Would be fire. I'd love it. Also, you got to remember, Frankie knows what Pluton is. He burned the blueprints, but he knows. And we know Pluton is in Wano country. So that's all going to come to a head as well. Absolutely. Also, Hollow Everest said, I also love the idea that Frankie is the new Emmett and that the image actually represents him similar to the horns on Emmett. Exactly. So clearly there's a lot of people, Hollow Everest agreeing, a lot of people in the chat agreeing, lots of people agreeing that that has got to be either Emmett in the past, the new Vega Force with the Vegapunks that we saw already that are still in Egghead, reactivating Emmett. The other ancient robots, there could be another ancient robot. We know that Emmett was the one to have seen Joy Boy. There could be another. Or Frankie fulfilling the prophecy and becoming the ancient robot himself. That's true. Very true. All fantastic, fantastic things to bring up. Yes. Let me see if there's anything else. I think I got them all now. I'm reloading the page. I think I got them all now. I haven't even gotten into my Nakama theories yet. I'm sure that room is probably flooded in Manga Sunday. So I'm actually going to go real quick and run into the Nakama room. For all of you guys who know this, we basically have a room where members at the Nakama tier and up here on YouTube can ask their questions without super chatting and without leaving it in the chat. Guaranteed get their questions read by joining in the Manga Sunday room. So I'm going to read out these Nakama questions real quick. These are the questions from the Discord server. Again, if you're a Nakama, if you just joined, make sure to enter. All right, here we go. This first one comes from Joker's Fallen One, who says, Morning, Roger. Oh my God, this chapter broke the internet. I cannot wait to be here and see you react. The fact that Shamrock got a Cerberus as a sword was next level, and the next Holy Knight could potentially be summoned at the castle where Luffy is, and that maybe that would showcase a fight moving forward. That's true. Maybe they'll show up at the same summoning circle and Luffy will go right into a fight with one of the God Knights. Fantastic. I love that idea. I really subscribe to the theory that the Casa Hat guy is going to turn out to be Scopper. But I'm honestly tired of the fanboys getting divided on that theory, so I hope it ends up getting revealed soon. I think it will be. You're good. It's going to be... Especially because you had that moment in this chapter with Luffy saying that, oh man, like I thought Roger's pirates were the family of Shanks, and then you see the cutback to the other guy with the Casa Hat, like for sure. Yeah, that's going to be revealed soon. Whoever it is, I feel like has got to be familiar to with Shanks, i.e. a Roger pirate, but it's honestly up to Oda's will. I'm also going to pass on, if no one mentions to you, to look at the last page between this first and second boxes, where there are more moons. I wasn't the first to notice it, but passed it along. My big thoughts on the mural, it kind of solidifies to me as a reader that Emu is indeed final antagonist of One Piece as of this chapter. We got a taste of what the Five Elders can do on Egghead, and now the Holy Knights seem to be the big bad on Elbaf. I think Shamrock is going to go to the school and capture the kids, and that Robin will be in danger in close proximity. I think Luffy will free Loki as well, and will cause so much more chaos. Also, again, Loki, if Shamrock is present, and Luffy and Loki actually ally, and you find out that Loki was actually set up, or what happened there where the giants died, and that idea that like, oh, he killed all these giants during the attack on the castle, it wasn't actually Loki. That's all up to interpretation at this point right now, too. So I love the idea that, yeah, they maybe team up and end up going against Shamrock. And stop him from going after the kids. Yeah. I love your streams and your Nintendo Switch 2 videos as well. And I love to see you keep growing. Happy 461. Nakama, thank you very much. Joker's Fallen One, thank you very, very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me also see this. We got Rob Harley. Oh, just saying, please keep your questions in spoiler tags. Of course, of course. So he must have posted this before the chapter came out, so that's fine. Clax also said, I don't really have anything to add story related, but man, was this chapter hype. I do have one question though. Does this chapter upend any well-known theories that you know of? And does it back up any theories that you and the others have had? I think I've kind of gone over that a lot during this, so I feel like that's mostly been answered at this point. But I'm super glad that I remained unspoiled, and even more glad that you did too, because your reaction was spectacular. I also just realized that the Void Century ending 800 years ago, and these solid clouds being able to be finished about 200 years from now, would equate to 1,000 sunny. That the world would officially be freed, and fully liberated 200 years from now. I love that idea. That the experiments of Egghead, that the truth of the world that they're going to free at the end of this war that we're probably going to see in the epilogue would be 200 years from the end of One Piece, where it would now be the 1,000 Sunnies' dream of the liberated world and the world of the Straw Hats. I love, 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 love that. Absolutely, positively love that. Good stuff there. Also, Claxton, you answered one right after with the Cerberus one. You're all good. Don't worry about it, Clax. All right. Another Nakama question. It's not a question. This is more of like a bunch of messages. Comes from Rob Harley. Shout out to Rob Harley, one of my GOAT moderators, saying, it's nice to see I was right about Who's Who and Robin reading the Harley. But what are your thoughts on the gods themselves? I do like the idea that the forest god created the devil fruits and that the sea god created the world of One Piece as we know it and is responsible for the rising sea levels. The Earth God, I simply have no idea. I think we kind of answered the Earth God one with the red line thing earlier, so I'm going to pass on discussing that one. But one donation said something that makes perfect sense. The Sun God, the mural says it right there. The original Nika that the fruit was based on was in the first world and was a liberator. That Joy Boy was the second, and the God of Destruction, as mentioned in the recent chapter, and Luffy being the third. But not sure what to call Luffy. And by the way, congrats on 461. Thank you very much. And yes, I completely agree with the idea that the originator Sun God is the first world, that the second world going into the Void Century was Joy Boy, and that our world, the third world, our version of Nika is Luffy. Couldn't agree more. Completely hammered on to everything we said earlier. Completely right. Couldn't agree more, Rob. Couldn't agree more. But Rob was also saying, I want to point out something that someone brought up in chat, that chapter 291, what? Really? Chapter 291 is titled To Meet, like the half moon hidden by clouds. Chapter 292, let me look this up. What? What was going on in chapter 292? Was that a Skypiea chapter? I feel like that would have been somewhere in Skypiea. Yeah, it was. I was totally right. 292. Oh, yeah. This is like the Nolan Shandora volume. To meet like the half moon hidden by clouds. Oh, this is literally the Nolan flashback. Gona! Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, and the old king, too, of the Levneal Kingdom. And one of the ancient kings. Oh, dude, wow. And then him at his death, as if the Admiral would lie. I was just worried for your safety. Are you okay? And thinking back in Shandora. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Dude, this series is amazing. Again, goes to show, people who skip Skypiea or don't like Skypiea, bro, what are you on, man? Especially now more than ever. I feel like Skypiea is so good. It's so, because Skypiea was our first tease at all of this. The story as it is right now would not have been set up. It was set up perfectly with Skypiea. Man. And Skypiea, I think, is brilliant because not only is it a amazing first setup for all the stuff that's going to happen later in the story that we then learn to become true, the Earth God, Sea God, Forest God, Sun God stuff, right? All of the Nika, Sun God, the silhouette with Luffy, that tease, everything. The Clawbottermon, right? The soul of the ship being seen for the first time with the Mary, and then eventually with Sunny, we're gonna have a new one. Like, there's a lot of good stuff that's there. Nolan the Liar, how that connects to Usopp, lies becoming true, perfect. But I think the other good thing about Skypiea, which people don't bring up enough, is Skypiea is like a great standalone story arc. Like, you could just read Skypiea without really needing to know anything about One Piece outside of like that devil fruits exist and there's pirates. You don't really need to know much else about the greater world of One Piece to fully appreciate Skypiea. Like the Nolan flashback, the story of Skypiea and Jaya connected itself, right, is all completely not only important to the world of One Piece at large, but completely self-contained. You could enjoy the entire arc of landing on Jaya, wanting to fulfill the dreams of Nolan the Liar, Nolan's descendants, taking the knock upstream, getting into Skypiea, all the stuff with Bellamy, all the stuff with Blackbeard prior to Skypiea, all the stuff with Eneru, what it means to be a god, controlling everything. It kicks off the rest of the world, but also the liberation of the people of Skypiea, where you see him in the sky in silhouette, is our first tease of the liberation of the rest of the world as Nika. It's brilliant. I love Skypiea. I'm glad you brought that up. And that's really awesome to see that the Skypiea chapter is titled To Meet Like the Half Moon Hidden by Clouds. The Will of D. Fantastic. Great, great, great stuff. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Jur also points out that on chapter 203 of page 5, Robin reads out a portion of the poneglyph in Alabasta, and there's something interesting about that as well. Let me see this. This is 203. So this is the end of Alabasta. Let me see this. 203. Robin reading the poneglyph. What does the poneglyph say at this part? Hold on. Dude, I got to 203. The chapter title is Crocodile-ish, and it's in the middle of Hachi's cover story. I straight up forgot about Octopaco. I forgot about this girl. I forgot about so many of these older characters. This is why we got to do a reread one day, man. Wow. All right, so this is Robin reading it with Cobra. Is this all there is? There aren't any other poneglyphs in Alabasta. Not satisfied. I kept mine of the bargain true. Quite a secret. This is Crocodile. No one could find this place unless they knew it was here. Also, again, too, the connection of like how important Cobra and the Nefertari family and Robin and Crocodile are now to the end of the series, like retroactively, I think makes Alabasta a lot better. I think there was a time, and I've said this before, even on stream, there was a time in which Alabasta, to me, I think was slightly overhyped. Like, I like Alabasta. It's a good starting one of like the big story arcs. But I feel like I didn't feel reading Alabasta as a kid the same way I felt reading Skypiea as a kid, or Water 7 as a kid, or even like in a weird way Thriller Bark as a kid. I didn't feel the same way about Alabasta. And I was binge reading it when I was catching up to One Piece from actual English Shonen Jump to when I was actually reading alongside the release of the volumes with Skypiea. So I was binging it the best possible way. But I feel like the Nefertari family, Lily, Vivi, Cobra, Robin, and Crocodile being part of Cross Guild, is now making this arc so much more important and is making me appreciate these small moments where you see like Robin seeing the poneglyph, things being kept from them, Crocodile wanting to know about Pluton, wanting to, fulfill certain prophecies. This is all interesting stuff. Yeah. And as you brought up, the thing that was interesting to note on page 5, where she's actually reading it, after Crocodile says, this is the poneglyph, this was quick, most unusual mystery, were you able to decipher it? Read it to me, the poneglyph. Robin says, Kahira was conquered by Alabasta. That was in the year of heaven, 239. In the year 260, Taimar of the Baitan dynasty took the throne. The Great Taft Temple in Urumalu was completed in 306. The great hero of Ultea, Mamudin. And he's like, bro, it's not what I want to know. I don't care about this kingdom's history. Tell me where it's hidden, the location of the destruction weapon on Earth. Robin is like, look, you're skipping out of the good stuff because this is the stuff we need to know about the first world. This is good stuff. We need to know about the history leading up to the civilization for why the Nefertari family would have gotten away and defected from the 20 kingdoms that started the world government. It's all good stuff here. Man, oh man. Again, the pre-time skip arcs, I think I do a better job of being self-contained and being paced out, I think, a little better than the post-time skip arcs. But I do feel like post-time skip retroactively has also made them better, even than when they were when we first read them as kids, because of all the connections to the overall world of One Piece. I love it, man. I kind of want to do like an Alabasta Skypiea reread at some point towards the end of the series, where we do a full reread of One Piece just prior to the end to make everything hit all the better, you know. Probably not this year, but maybe next year. It's really, really good stuff. Let me read this other one. Hold on. So this comes from Stefan Dog from my Nakama chat, saying, I'm seeing here that Frankie's going to have a big role in the war, knowing how to build and function Pluton. This foreshadows his role in the final war, and it seems that Frankie himself can be Pluton, since it doesn't seem to be the Mural, or maybe the other idea is that the Sunny can be turned into it. What do you think about the idea that the Sunny can be turned into Pluton? Again, I think we kind of know that Pluton, as it stands, as Crocodile wanted it, was in Wano country, in Old Wano. We know this now. And my assumption is Yamato is going to find it. But because he knows the blueprints, and because he knows how to make it, I've always thought that there's a potential for him having created things about Pluton into the Thousand Sunny, or morphed something within himself. I totally agree. Yeah. So I do think that is a possibility. And Shard Pop also mentions in my Nakama chat, saying, someone mentioned in YouTube chat that the area Emu is standing on with the Noah inside could very well be Zunisha with Emu on his trunk. What? Wait, let me pull this up. Could be Zunisha with Emu on the trunk. Whoa. Oh, it does kind of look like it could be a trunk. I was assuming that was the world being sunk. Oh, I guess, I mean, maybe you can interpret it like that. But wouldn't Zunisha... I was thinking Zunisha might be represented by the animals that were on the bottom, underneath the Noah. But I don't hate the idea that that is actually potentially Zunisha with the trunk and Emu standing above all of them, being symbolic of both drowning the world and also standing above everyone that was present in that flashback. I love this, dude. I love this. This is such a good chapter. Wow, man. Wow. That's not a bad interpretation. I also just had a thought that the knock-up streams are being caused by something underground from the old world. Potentially the Earth God was trapped underneath the Sea God, and the streams are attacking from underground. That's not a bad idea, too. Again, that the gods are still fighting all these years later, or remnants of the fights from the gods are happening all these years later. Dude, there's just so much to dive into here. I do feel like it's been 2.5 hours now. I think this is a record. I think this is my longest One Piece stream ever. I think this is it. This has got to be the longest One Piece live reaction stream we've ever done. And we've had so many viewers in here. The fact that I still got 1,900 people at the end of my Super Chat Nakama portion is wild to me. Just goes to show how good the chapter was. We got one more donation. This one comes from Papa Paul, who said, everyone is talking about Zoro versus Shamrock, but have we considered Buggy maybe stepping up? Shamrock still seems to care for Shanks. I could see him being enraged if he acknowledges Buggy over him. I mean, I think Buggy, in terms of stepping up with the Cross Guild, will absolutely be present during Final War. I don't see a world in which Buggy actually like awakens armament hockey or something and like fights against these characters. But I do see a world in which like his failing upwards and his creation of the Cross Guild with Mihawk and Crocodile do embolden his own people to go full force in Final War. I mean, I fully believe Cross Guild will be fighting alongside Luffy in Final War. I don't think Cross Guild, Blackbeard, Shanks, or Luffy are really at all going to be going against each other during the final war. I think they're going against Emu, which is why I believe Emu is like the second to last major antagonist. Because I kind of feel like the end of it all, right? The end of everything is going to be the Yonko fighting to claim the One Piece at Laugh Tale. Because as Oda's mentioned time and time and time and time again, the One Piece, when we discover the One Piece, is the end of the series. So my assumption is this final war, this prophesized ending of the world, all of this happens before Laugh Tale. And I didn't used to believe that like 5 years ago. But now that Oda's been hammering in time and time again that this is indeed going to be the end of everything when we get to One Piece, I think that leads, that like my interpretation of that statement, right, leads me to believe that Luffy, Blackbeard, Shanks, and Buggy, and the people connected to them will lead us into like almost like a final war epilogue leading into Laugh Tale. Also, I'm seeing Jimmy saying stretch break, Roger. I will do a bit of a stretch break. Thank you, Jimmy. You should not be here, by the way. We are like super duper into spoilers right now, Jimmy. We're talking about the manga right now. You should not be here. You are going to get spoiled on the end of One Piece. Though, to be fair, we literally at the gym yesterday talked about my belief about the end of the series of One Piece 2. But, Jimmy, you should not be here. You should leave and get the heck out of here. You are not caught up. You should not be here. Thanks for showing up, though. Appreciate it, buddy. All right. I have one last little thing I want to read. These were apparently super chats that I missed. Saying, when the Wi-Fi disconnected and your Opera server broke, I think you might have missed my super chat. This comes from Mars Invasion and Pure Power saying, you missed some, including mine. Let me see, Pure Power. Let me read yours real quick. Okay, so this one comes from Pure Power, who says, the man killed the sun and became God. The death of Joy Boy and the birth of the Tenryubito. Perhaps Lily was the vessel for Emu? A god needs strong vessels. And people are picked as the vessels? Well, I mean, the people are picked as a vessel thing kind of matches up with what we know about Emu, right? We know that Emu can giveth power and taketh away power from those Gorosei. And we even got that here with the Cerberus idea, right? With Cerberus and with the sword potentially not even being a devil fruit, but being like a power from Emu directly, right? I feel like there is potentially some type of connection there between the passing down of powers. But I also feel like, and this is something that I've said before, I said this back in Egghead, people got so mad at me, but I actually think it could happen. Luffy, through inspiring the people and bringing joy, plus Bonnie, with her awakening, and not only being able to turn into Nika temporarily, but also sharing her beliefs and her futures, Bonnie and Luffy together, Final War, could put together a situation in which I believe multiple characters could go Gear 5, right? Which is not to say that they are going Gear 5. They're not doing the same stuff Luffy can do, but are like liberated, right? Are sharing with the power of the gods. And that Luffy is not doing it himself because Luffy's just Luffy, right? Luffy wants to be king of the pirates and free people, and that's it. But I do feel like Luffy with Bonnie could in some way sort of like power up people. Kind of like, exactly, Artie. Kind of like Naruto giving Kurama chakra to everyone. Exactly. It's that type of situation. It's not to say that everyone can go Gear 5 and things are going willy-nilly and people are getting power boosts. It's more exactly like the chakra boost from Naruto. Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up. Exactly. Clax also donated again and said, is it just me, or did Oda mention the sea god really early before and we just assumed it was pirate superstition? That if you eat a devil fruit, the sea god will hate you? Or was that a false memory? That's definitely not a false memory. I mean, he brought up the idea of like, if you eat the fruit of the seas, that the god of the sea will be angry. I mean, that's been set up since a long time ago. Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, Mars apparently sent a massive donation, but I'm not seeing the donation. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, wow. Oh my God, Mars. Mars sent a $100 donation during this stream. saying the 5-year plan Oda said isn't happening. This panel alone is going to take 2 to 3 years. Hype at his peak. Incorrect. I fully do not agree with that. I appreciate your donation. Love the $100, but this is a good topic of conversation. I don't agree. In fact, I think all of this lore being dumped in this chapter in this way, pairing with the pacing that we had with Elbaf, adding to Elbaf leading directly into Final War, I still think Oda believes he can do it in 5 years. I don't think necessarily it's going to happen, right? But I do believe that we will be in the final arc 5 years from now. Fully believe that. We're in the final saga already. Him going into final arc, like all of this stuff, the connections with, think about what we're doing in Elbaf right now. Think about all this. The God Knights are here. When the God Knights mobilize, the revolutionaries mobilize. We have all this stuff about the Void Century that, again, I'm sure we're going to see in flashbacks across the rest of Elbaf and the rest of the final saga. But this stuff can be its own flashback. This stuff can be 10, 12 chapters on its own, a whole volume on its own, and telling us the truth of the world. But those explanations about the truth of the world are no longer needing to be set up. We now know, because of all the hints that were given throughout all the rest of the series and today. We know we have the pieces. It's just a matter, Oda doesn't need to do any more setup. I think I would agree with the argument that there's no way that he can wrap this up quickly if all of this stuff was not already set up before, but it has been set up before. Thank you, by the way. Mars Invasion's happy that I'm reading this thing. He just gifted 10 memberships. Yo, Mars, Nakama again. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for gifting memberships. But your topic of conversation is interesting, so I want to sort of dive into this a little bit. I feel like genuinely, with the pace that we've been moving with Egghead and Elbaf, and knowing that we are now in the second arc of the final saga of One Piece, and they are clearly, they're not like hiding it, they're saying this is the end. My assumption is that the final saga does end with, or at least gets set up to the end by 2027. Because we're in early 2025 right now. If this is the pace we're moving at, in which we got Robin and Saul reuniting, the history of the world, the truth about the Will of D, and the God Knights mobilizing so the revolutionaries mobilize, and the last remnant of the Roger Pirates, and the truth about Shanks' brother, all within 3 chapters that we've had over the course of this year so far, and that's the pace we're moving at, I think, here's the thing. I think people got used to the bad pacing of Wano and of Whole Cake and of Dressrosa and think that these arcs need to be spread out among that same period of time. They don't. We don't. That's literally, and we're seeing in real time Oda fixing his mistake and his editors fixing his mistakes and bringing the pacing up to not only a fever pitch, but also giving us the information in a way that makes sense with what we know already, right? I think people were used to the poor pacing of some of the other post-time skip arcs, and that's not to say those arcs are bad, but it's just to say the pacing is not what we were used to pre-time skip, and not what we were used to with other arcs that we had seen. And now that we are jumping back into pre-time skip-like pacing with Egghead and with Elbaf, where these arcs are only like a year, but it's giving us tons and tons of lore and tons of info. Like, think of all the stuff we got in Egghead. Egghead was a year and a half. If Elbaf is a year and a half, like, we've already been in a half a year of Elbaf. We could end Elbaf by the end of this year and then be right in the final war. And there's your 2026 and 2027. That's 2 years worth of an arc. And then you have like Laugh Tale in 2028 and you're done, dude. Like, it could absolutely happen. I think the one thing that might not necessarily get answered are like side character things that maybe people expected to be fully fleshed out in the story that might be left to an SBS. But really, everything has already been set up. The Yonko are now in the perfect position for Final War. We now know the truth about the Will of D. We now know all the stuff about these gods and figuring out who these gods are, but we've already met 2 of them probably. Emu and presumably Dragon. And possibly Blackbeard. So we may have already in the story have met all these god characters. We just don't know who they are just yet. We already know all the races that are there on the front, on the left-hand side, because they're all the people from all the previous story arcs. They're there. I feel like even in terms of pacing and in terms of doling out information while still introducing new characters, I feel like Elbaf has even been succeeding over Egghead so far in terms of the way that they're giving us world building that is still connected to the story to be told in Elbaf. Because, right, the core story of Elbaf right now, as it appears to be, is the dichotomy of the two sun gods, the truth about the world, which version of the Harley is true, the God Knights mobilizing, right? The truth about what happened to King Harold and how all that connects, right? Because those stories are kind of intermingled. And then the stuff with Jarl and the new giant pirates and Harudin's declaration that he wants to be king of the giants. Like, this all connects to the overall lore of the world. It's not like, unlike some of the other story arcs in which we were getting set up that was directly related to like the island of Dressrosa or the way that Kaido came to power in Wano. The stuff that's related to Elbaf is all important to the world at large. So we're not really in a situation in which like the stuff that we're finding out about here is just related to Elbaf. It's all related to Final War. So the setup that we're getting right now is directly related to everything moving forward in the story. So like I said, I think if we're moving at the pace we're moving right now, especially after this chapter, I feel like we could get into Final War by 2027. I really think that could be a thing. And obviously, Oda's been taking a lot of breaks. And I always said, take breaks into account. I said that in my video where I said, he said at the end of 2022, it's going to be about 5 more years. Which means at the end of 2022, he assumed it'd probably be 2027. And what I said in my end of One Piece video was that he's not taking breaks into account. He's not taking other stuff into account. But it probably will be like 2028. So again, that's like still in line with everything that we know. He could easily put all this stuff over the course of the next 3 years. Absolutely. Absolutely, positively. All right. I still have so many more super chats I got to get through. Also, Mars Invasion said, the reason I don't want him to rush is because the Joy Boy and the Void Century could easily be 5 years on their own. Just make it 5 chapters. I've waited 20 years for this. Again, I'm fine. Whatever he wants to do is fine with me. However he wants to flesh it out. I'm just saying I would temper your expectations in terms of how well the pacing has been moving and how quickly he's moving through some of this stuff and how quickly he's dumping all this information. I think it could end quicker than people are expecting, is all I'm saying. Yeah. Thank you, by the way, to Matthew for coming through with the membership, Nakama. I'm also seeing, again, a lot more super chats. Again, I will get to them. I'm seeing people saying, you missed mine. Don't worry. I'm going to get to them. You have to remember, chat, there's a lot of other super chats that are coming through right now. So, again, I'm trying my best. Thank you very much. Also, yeah, some of these memberships, wow. The member count is now at 836. Holy mackerel, man. Wow. We have gone up a lot of members during this stream. Wow. Let me read this one. This one comes from Pure Power again, clarifying what he said earlier, saying, teaches Devil Fruit, nullifies the Devil Fruit's powers, right? The God of the Sea could maybe be the nullification of the Devil Fruit power because he hates Devil Fruit powers, right? The Vessel of the Sea could then also be that Devil Fruit power, with Luffy being the vessel for the sun, Emu potentially being the forest or the earth, and Dragon potentially being the serpent of hellfire. Interesting. Wow. Again, chat, we're going to get to all the super chats. Don't worry. We're getting there. I'm seeing people saying you're missing super chats. Chapter 244, by the way, Earth God, Emu without the crown. Take a look at 244. Okay. I will indeed. Let's see. 244. Let's see this. What part of 244? Are you talking about the statement about the Earth God? Vars, the inhabitants of the sky, and an object of eternal... Oh. You think the statue on page 4 is actually Emu? That's kind of interesting. I kind of love that, actually. Oh, I mean, that would explain his shape. You're talking about this that kind of looks like a seal, it says, right? Probably a pagan idol, the work of art. I mean, I don't hate that, actually. That would be kind of cool. Wow. I never even considered that could be representative of, like, a character. I do love that, though. Wow. Also, Clax just said one more correction to what I said earlier. He mentioned the Sea Devil, but this is the first time we hear of the Sea God. So I wonder if the Sea Devil and Sea God are the same people. Absolutely could be. Absolutely could be. Yeah. All right. Let me see more of these. Hold on. Again, we got more super chats. I'm getting to them. I'm seeing one from Slay It Out who's spamming in the chat. Say, please read mine. It was near the beginning. I'm reading it. I'm scrolling. I'm looking for Slay It Outs. I'm going to get your super chat. Give me 1 second. I just got to, there's just a lot of them. So again, some are going to slip through the cracks. Let me see. Thank you, by the way, to Dr. Jack, by the way, for becoming a member as well. Nakama, I'm looking, Slay It Out. I'm looking. Here we go. We got it, Slay It Out. We got it. Slay It Out. Super chatted and said, best chapter by far. I have a theory that one of the, oh no, we literally read this. We literally read this earlier, Slay It Out. We read this earlier. I have a theory that one of the reasons Frankie is the one to find a Mural is that he represents Emmett for the war. We literally read this out on stream an hour and a half ago and talked about it. That he represents Emmett. I have another. All right, well, let's look, Slay It Out. I find it fascinating the way the emu is drawn to the left with the rain falling on top of everybody with his hand in the air. We talked about this as well. You missed the Slay It Out. We talked about this as well with the flooding of the sea. We mentioned about the rain and the water and the rain god and the sea god being one and the same. We brought up both of these, Slay It Out. We brought up both of these. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the super chat section, if super chats are related to the things that we already talked about, I was bypassing them and simply just saying thank you. Yeah. But again, appreciate it. Thank you very much for bringing that up. But yeah, we did indeed see that one and talk about it. The one other one that I'm seeing comes from Salty Steve. I don't think we read this one. Saying, look between the first and the second world. The moon has the same patterns for the serpent. Let me see this. Hold on. Same pattern for the serpent on the moon. This one's from Salty Steve. Between the first and second world text. Okay, let's go back. Let's scroll on up. Here we go. Oh yeah, you can see literally. Okay, so what he's talking about, if you look in between first and second world, the books, in the middle, you see a little circle and then it looks to be the text that's the same as the earth god. But is that moon, because there's obviously multiple planets in the sky, is that meant to be another moon? Or is the big moon in the middle meant to be our moon and the other one's meant to be other planets? Because again, the people of Skypiea refer to the moon as Fairy Varth. And if the earth god that is being worshipped and the idols that were there in Skypiea and the image on that moon is Fairy Varth, is that moon not our moon? Or is that moon our moon? I don't know. Slay It Out in the chat is saying that could be the tail of the dragon, maybe? I don't think so, because the pattern on the little thing is in like a ball. It does look like it's on a planet. I don't know, man. That's a good thing to point out. Yeah, I have no idea what that could potentially mean. If you look at the Loki drawing, it is also, oh yeah, it is on Loki as well. You can see the same pattern across Loki's chest. What does it mean, though, is the question. I don't know. Wow. After all, we do have the Yonko named after, you mean the Gorosei named after the planets. Right. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of connections between other planets. But again, the planets revolve around the sun. This is something I brought up before. I guess we didn't really discuss this, but this has been something that I've talked about on multiple occasions. The idea that the original Gorosei, right, because we know they've been alive for a long time, were actually followers of Joy Boy, right? Because the planets revolve around the sun in real life. And the idea that the reason why Emu won during the Second World was that Emu promised them potentially eternal life or power or whatever, and they betrayed Joy Boy. That they were potentially Joy Boy's crewmates, which again would be a great parallel as to why Luffy is succeeding where Joy Boy failed, right? Is that he has his crew, he has his nakama, he's got the love of his crew. But the idea that if Joy Boy was the sun, that the people around him, Venus, Juro, Jupiter, right? All these other characters were representative of the planets. And the theming of Joy Boy's crew was that of like the planets following Joy Boy. And that when push came to shove and Joy Boy went against Emu, like I said, Emu promised them power or life or whatever. And they wanted to keep, creating things using the mother flame of the old civilization. And they betrayed Joy Boy. And then Joy Boy leads the people into that war, which then leads in the second half of that mural with the God Knights and everything in the Gorosei after they've turned. And obviously they fail and the world floods and the Void Century happens. But they sail onwards and know that one day someone else is going to pick up the mantle. Man, oh man, oh man. Good stuff. Really, really good stuff here. My big question on the mural, though, was what is up with the fish? Well, the fish are the sea gods, or the sea kings, excuse me, right? The fish are the sea kings. I mean, you even see Shirahoshi in the front or Poseidon, right? In the front, right by the fish, commanding the sea kings. So my assumption is that. I mean, I could be wrong. But my assumption is that is Poseidon. And the fish are the sea kings fighting alongside them, right? Man. All right, well, I have been going for nearly 3 hours at this point. This has been my longest One Piece live reaction stream to date. I got to get to start timestamping stuff. I got to put this up. I have to change the thumbnail. I got to post the video. I got to do everything. I'm going to cut up some of this and make shorts talking about all this. There's so much to speculate on. All right, we have 2 more super chats at the very end, and then I really am cutting it off. This has been a great stream. These are the last 2 super chats. One comes from Umair, who says in chapter 906 in the first page, when the people are walking up the stairs, you can see the statues. Bro. These super chats are coming in crazy, bro. Saba donated $100 and said, no new theories. Just thank you for everything that you do and the passion that you put into your content. We do truly appreciate it. Absolute peak stream for an absolute peak chapter. Yo, Saba, thank you very much once again. Nakama, thank you for that incredibly generous donation. Thank you very much, Saba. Appreciate that. Wow. Now, Saba didn't leave any theories, so I do want to read the other 2 super chats that left theories before we wrap this up. But Saba, you're a beast. Nakama, everybody show Saba some love. Wow. Also, there's a little marker saying this is your 20th super chat. Holy mackerel, dude. Wow. Appreciate you. All right, Umair, as I was saying, saying in chapter 906 on the first page, when the people are walking up the stairs, you can see the statues from the side. Could they also potentially be people frozen in time, potentially from World 1 or 2? He's talking about, I know exactly the chapter you're talking about, Umair. This is where Emu is walking out of the freezer during the reverie, walking up, and you see the statues lining the walls. My assumption is that those statues were not people, but are the remnants of the old world, right? The old world government heads, the people meant to be worshipped, the celestial dragons, all of them, their ancestors, but they could very well be people frozen. If they've got a giant straw hat frozen, maybe there are people from the old world frozen in there. I'm not going to say no to that. That's an interesting idea. We also got a second donation from D.W. Ojas, who says, in this mural, we also see a ship that looks like Eneru's Arc Maxim, which we talked about earlier. What if the Arc Maxim was actually modeled after Uranus, and that was actually Uranus just without the weapons? I think, in fact, I know we've brought this up on a lot of different live streams before. I've said that I think there could absolutely be a connection between Uranus, the Arc Maxim, and the moon, and Eneru being there, and the devil fruit power of the Rumble fruit potentially being able to power it because of electricity, right? And that fruit, the Rumble fruit, potentially having a connection to Elbaf because of all the attacks of Eneru being like El Thor, and Thor being the god of thunder in Norse mythology. There is a connection there. And I do genuinely believe that your answer about the Arc Maxim and Uranus and what all this means, I think we're going to get it during this. I actually think it's going to happen during this story arc. Fully. I believe if Eneru comes back, it's happening during this arc. If we get more information about the Arc Maxim and Uranus and how it connects to the overall world, it's going to happen next arc. I really, truly, though, don't know how Oda tops this next week. I can't believe there's not a break. I'm stunned there's not a break. I really, more than anything else, thought we were going to have a break after this chapter, after seeing that last page. The fact that we don't have one leads me to believe there's going to be something important in the next chapter tied to this one. That we're either going to get like another interpretation of the Harley, we're going to get Shanks maybe his side of things and like seeing stuff with Shamrock, maybe seeing more stuff with Loki or Loki being freed, maybe the other Guide Knight character showing up and fighting Luffy. There's so many other things that can happen. But I think next chapter's got to be hype as well. It has to be. Maybe the reveal of who the guy in the Casa head is. Maybe. Either way, thank you all for tuning in, everybody. Thank you for the massive amount of viewers that came through concurrently during the stream. During our peak, dude, we had like 3,500 during the peak earlier. That was insane. Plus, we had so many donations, and this has gone on a long time. And this is an official release day chapter. I got all these viewers on a day when it's an official release day. This has been out for 5 days. All the people have read scans for this for 5 days. And yet, thank you for all of you supporting me, supporting the official release, coming through at the very end. Amazing. Thank you very much, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Knock 'em!